Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Ross Township, Pennsylvania, the tragic and seemingly accidental death of a prominent churchwoman with a high blood alcohol level leads the investigation to a different state and another accidentally dead woman. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy edition of Small Town Murder. We have, of course, a wild episode today. One of those where there's a landmine under every, you never know where it's going to be. It's a crazy episode, as usual. We have, oh my goodness, the last few weeks have been crazy, and the next few weeks are crazy. So buckle up, everybody. A lot going on. If you haven't done it yet, please, quick little house cleaning. Get on Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It does help the show. We don't know why. We don't run Apple, so how would we know that? So that helps a lot. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now to get your tickets to the virtual live show January the 29th, 2021.
Yes.
Coming up, and it'll be available for 72 hours after that. So get your tickets right now. A real episode, just like a theater show. Mm-hmm. Sit there, the visuals, with microphones. It's going to sound and look and be awesome.
Make believe with us.
Make believe that we're all gathering together. That's what it is.
I can't wait.
The camera's the audience. We're going to pretend we're in a theater.
I'm gonna
and
get so fucking drunk.
Let's play make-believe, everybody.
Go.
Get drunk and stoned with us and hang out. It's going to be a good time. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com right now for that. Also, get all your merchandise there. Tons of merch, all different stuff up all the time. So that's a lot of fun. You got to do that. Patreon is cooking right now. So it's going good. Get on Patreon. You're going to want to do that. There's a murder story even on the crime and sports side. And if you're a Patreon donor, you get access to both shows. Bonus episodes. This week on Crime and Sports, it'll be the death of Steve McNair, which is a crazy murder story of a very prominent NFL quarterback.
Yes.
And then on this week for Small Town Murder, we have an absolutely wild murder in Michigan that you will root for the murderer, which is a weird thing that we have, but
very good.
Rarely do we get a positive murder, and we might actually have found one here, so it's so much fun. Check that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get everything like that, and like we said, anybody over the $5 level gets access to everything, all the back catalog, the bonus stuff, you name it, and in addition, you'll be a producer, and then we have to thank you, and the way we do that is Jimmy reads your name at the end of the show, and we'll not pronounce your name correctly, probably, unless it's very simple. So
for sure.
You do that, but he'll give it his best. So you do that, patreon.com/crime and sports. And if you just want to have good karma and be a producer and get Jimmy to mispronounce your name, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Yes.
That said, quick disclaimer, this is a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's not a crazy, we're not trying to be Dateline.
No.
It's a comedy show.
We're not journalists.
No, but the thing is, the stories are all true. Yeah, everything's true.
Sure.
Everything's very accurate. We really take painstaking, efforts to make labors to make sure the story is 100% accurate. But there's comedy, because we're comedians, number one, and stuff is when you get a situation like a murder that people find themselves in. It's crazy.
Weird stuff happens.
And you know what? Some of it's funny, so that's not our fault. What we, not like we're not going to sit here and go, and then the head was cut from the body. That's a little dark.
Yeah.
We can lighten that up a little bit, and we're not going to be like, ha ha, the head got cut off from the body either. So there's a middle ground where you can joke about the stuff around it and then go, oh my God, there's a head came right off the body.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That's how normal people would look at a murder.
Sure.
That's how we're doing it. We go out of our way to make sure not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Oh, yeah?
Because we're assholes.
Tell me more.
But we're not scumbags.
There it is.
I mean, that's how it works here. So if that doesn't sound good to you, crime and comedy should never, ever go together in your mind, then maybe this isn't for you.
Goodness.
It might be, and you might be, thinking the wrong thing, but maybe it's not. So don't complain later if that's the case. But for the rest of us that want to have a good time and hear about a wild story, I think it's time to sit back, clear the old lungs, and shout, "Shut up and give me murder!" Let's do this, Jimmy.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall we? I think we need to buckle up here and go on a trip.
Yeah, man.
We're not going very far this week. No, it's weird. The next few weeks we got Hawaii lined up.
Oh, shit.
It's been like 3 years since we've done Hawaii.
Have we only done one?
One Hawaii
with
episode.
the rolled over 4Runner Bronco Jeep?
There's not a lot. It's tiny over there, and it's not a lot of small towns because it's just mainly a couple of, it's hard to
small town.
It's hard to find stuff. Yeah. So it's, we're going to Hawaii. We got everywhere. Texas. We're going to New York. We're going all over the place here. Back in Maine, which we haven't been to in a long time. But here we're going to Pennsylvania.
Right
next door to Jersey, pretty much. So connected to it. We're going to Ross Township, Pennsylvania, which is on the other side of the state. So it is hours away from the last
James,
episode.
Weren't we in goddamn Oregon or Washington last week?
Washington, yeah. Oh, that's right. New Jersey and then Washington and back.
Damn it,
I am
James.
a week behind. I'm still on
3,000 miles
I'm
away.
still on the disappeared baby.
Catch up.
That's why I picked Pennsylvania this week, because it's not next door. I'm like, I guess so.
It's a ways away.
This is southwestern Pennsylvania. Okay. It's the Pittsburgh suburbs.
Yeah.
It's 15 minutes to downtown Pittsburgh.
Really?
And if you know how Pittsburgh's set up, as we do, because we went there, basically Pittsburgh itself, the city proper, is kind of in the middle, and then it's in like a weird little valley.
Yeah.
Everything around it's like through the hills, through a mountain, and over a bridge to get to Pittsburgh. So
there's rivers everywhere.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So the suburbs of Pittsburgh are not. They're the suburbs. Like they're not Pittsburgh because they're separated by like a mountain and a river, and it's not. Yeah, it's not just all kind of connected. You know what I mean? So It's a good way to look at it. 15 minutes to downtown Pittsburgh, but you're going to have to go through a mountain and over a bridge to get there and through the woods. 5 hours to Philly.
Okay.
If you're lucky, as we know, we took that trip.
Unless you miss an exit.
And then it's a good 6.5 hours if you do that, because not a lot of exits on that road.
You're going to go 50 miles out of the way.
Not a lot of exits.
25 each way.
And you see roads, and you're like, how are people getting on those roads?
Why can't I use it?
Why can't I get
That's
there?
That's not fair.
That's all the way. I see it. Damn it. It's about 3 hours to Newville, Pennsylvania, which was our last Pennsylvania episode 175. So this is in Allegheny County, 14 square miles the town is.
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty decent-sized town. Motto here, not surprising, Go Steelers is their town motto.
Yeah.
Or this is the one where that's just like what's written on the signs. But if you go there, it's more, quote, Ben Roethlisberger didn't touch those women. That's the town slogan.
And Swan we trust.
That's it, yeah. So that's, I don't know. I mean, they have their opinions.
Yeah.
History of this town. Early settlers here. There was a lot of problems with Native Americans in this area because they came in, and this is good, kind of fertile area. And when people try to move in, the other people don't really. The people who already have the land might be upset that you are taking
great.
it. Yeah, things are going well here. So apparently, many of the Native Americans, many of the whole group there, did not agree with their chief's treaty with George Washington in 1784. Their chief's name is Chief Corn Planter.
Is that real?
That is his real name, Chief Corn Planter.
Right on the nose.
I mean, it's you wanted something to be straight up like that. You know exactly what he does. There's no mystery.
Is that his name or his
no
job
nuance.
title?
It's both.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's wonderful. Treaty with George Washington there. So apparently for Ross Township, this was the hunting grounds, their hunting grounds, and then the chief kind of gave it away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, now where the fuck are we supposed to hunt? So that's not a good thing. And apparently, about 1794, white people came and settled the area here. And the first group that came were chased out by a group of Indians, of course.
Yep.
And then this guy's sons, David and Casper Jr., the Reals are their last name. They became the first white men born north of Pittsburgh.
The real Reals?
The real Reals.
Yeah.
You know the site.
them?
Consignment luxury items.
This place is fascinating.
So, in 1809, a guy named John McKnight, along with 30 other residents of Pine Township, petitioned the courts of Allegheny for the formation of a new township, and they got Ross Township. So there you go. They named it after some guy named James Ross, who I've never heard of, but who gives a shit?
Bunch of extra large Perry Ellis everywhere.
He was an attorney there.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how it works. So anyway, he represented Western Pennsylvania in the convention to ratify Pennsylvania as a state. So they were like, fine. Now, this is the setting of a huge prison escape.
Really?
The story, yeah.
I love it.
In 1902, Catherine Soffel, who was the wife of the warden of the Allegheny jail, this is fucking amazing, helped the Biddle brothers, who she fell in love with, escape.
Oh, no.
The wife of the warden fell in love with two prisoners and helped them escape. Isn't this great?
I love it.
This is awesome.
Dirty.
This is a great town history right here. Fucking filthy.
Both of them.
Yeah,
both
two.
Ruddles.
That's what I mean. Imagine that. I want them both out.
I need two Biddles.
Two. She's getting Eiffel Biddled. It's a Biddle Tower.
This is incredible.
This is not good. So it was during the escape. Of course, they picked a blinding snowstorm to have this escape in.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, they found themselves on Perrysville Plank Road looking for shelter and something to eat, and they had nowhere else to stay. So they broke into the schoolhouse, and the stove was still warm from the classes when they broke in there, so they stayed there. They end up traveling up the road to a hotel where they got some ham sandwiches and a pint of whiskey. So they didn't have enough money, though. Yeah. So the one escapee pulled out a woman's pocketbook and paid for them, which is an odd sight in 1902.
Yeah.
Not a lot of that going on. He didn't have enough room in his coat, so he pulled his gun out in front of the bartender, and then the guy saw that and remembered him from that, obviously, and put two and two together. They tried to steal horses and a buggy and all sorts of shit, and they ended up finding an open barn where they kind of hung out there.
Yeah.
And then they were tracked like the next day.
How did the warden's wife not put more thought into this escape? It sounds like they were fucked every step of the way.
Yeah, I feel like this is like 1902, and the men were like, we'll take care of this. And she was like, okay.
Great.
And then they planned this, and she was like, I feel like I could have done better on the outside.
We could certainly at least use a forecast for the weather.
All this through, no transportation.
Nobody looked at the farmer's almanac?
Nobody looked at anything. Or the clouds?
Yeah.
Well, this might not be the best. Maybe tomorrow.
Those
Let's
clouds
see.
are paper white.
I feel like things are going to...
That's going to snow.
It's going to snow.
That looks bad.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crisp in the air.
We have reviews of this town here. They're mostly pretty good, actually. People seem to like this place. I picked a bunch of average 3-star reviews. Here's 3 stars. The area is very quiet. The toughest thing growing up was that there was not many kids on my street, nor was the nearby pool very affordable.
You got a nearby pool.
That's a very personal thing. There wasn't a lot of kids on my street. Well, the town sucks then, obviously, because you lived on a street with older people. I don't know.
Pools are expensive and nobody likes me. That's what that guy just said.
That's what it was. We couldn't afford a pool, and I didn't have any friends. Even if you did, you couldn't afford to go in the pool with them anyway. So what's the difference? So 3 stars, just real simple. It's been getting worse over the years.
Okay.
Watch out for that. 3 stars. Everyone is isolated, and there isn't much communal communication. Wow.
My word.
That's... Okay.
Why do you describe it that way?
Could have just said it's not a lot of
people to talk to.
Hard to socialize here. That would have been one way to put it.
Okay.
3 stars. Bellevue does have a bit of a drug problem. Oh boy. These sort of activities tend to go down around the skate park area and the high schools where delinquent teens sell drugs to one another.
Yes.
Not the teenagers.
Who cares? They're selling them to each other.
The teenagers are doing drugs?
The delinquent ones.
Not the teenagers. By a skate park? They're doing drugs and getting on skateboards? Oh, no. God, no, not that.
It is pretty fascinating that we have, as a society, embraced skate parks, and that everybody knows that that's what happens at them, and we've just allotted a little area for those people to go to.
Yes,
that's good.
And actually, the ones actually skating are not on drugs a lot.
No.
It's hard to skate when you're fucked up. It really is. It's not that easy. Stoned, you can do it. A little stoned, you can do it, but otherwise... You wouldn't want to be all strung out on something trying to skate. It's not.
My kids love to go to them, and there's a thick, hazy, skunk smelly cloud over the skate park.
It's a good,
all night long.
It's good for it.
Yeah.
It's a creative thing.
That's what
you
you
need
do.
to do it. You need to do it. Get those kids on some heavy stuff.
This is good that we gave them a place to be. If you don't like that, well, don't go to the skate park.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't do that.
They're the teenagers.
Yeah.
They're trying. Okay, teenagers on drugs to avoid adults. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They're hiding in the woods and at the skate park.
They don't want to be around you any more than you want them to be around you.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's almost, that's how you get rid of teenagers. You give them drugs and then they go away and do things.
And something to do.
Like other people's kids that you don't want around, be like, here's some drugs, go in the woods. That's what you should take. Here, take these drugs and go in the woods and leave us the fuck alone.
I want to keep that in mind.
There you go. If you ever see kids around your neighborhood bothering you.
That works out.
Just
Here,
Jesus.
Kid, here's a nickel bag.
Here's just go.
Get out of my face.
I rolled you. Here's a couple of pre-rolls.
There
Just
you
go in
go.
the woods and have fun with it. So actually, no pre-rolls.
No.
You have to learn.
Yeah.
Here, figure it out.
Teach them a craft.
Figure it out.
Do your apprenticeship.
Yeah. So then they go on to say, this crew tends to stick to themselves, however, and the community is not really affected in the grand scheme of things. Then why fucking mention it?
Yeah.
Who cares? Obesity is definitely a bit of a problem.
Wow. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Drug-addled kids and fat people. Yeah, I was going to say, you're in Pittsburgh. I've been there. By the way, we love Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh.
It's unbelievable.
Like, it's one of my favorite cities.
Truly.
I don't know what it is about it.
Certainly top 10.
Unbelievable. Yeah, especially to go to. The people are awesome. It's really kind of beautiful of a place too. Right. Like, it's gorgeous with the hills and it's nice.
It's a bit more yellow and black than I wanted, but there's fine.
And you guys, especially for a Bronco fan,
really, really embrace
it. But
Good
I mean,
fuck.
and it feels like it's its own little like enclave.
Yeah.
from the world, Pittsburgh, because
they've really separated themselves from what Pennsylvania is.
Yeah, well, because you have to like enter it through those mountains and through those bridges, so it feels like you're going. And the food is so good, and the people are cool.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God, my bartender in my hotel was the coolest. I didn't want to leave the hotel. I don't think I did anything in Pittsburgh except for drink and eat there.
Yeah, I had a great restaurant in the hotel, and it was like an old school hockey bar.
Oh, that's right.
In the hotel, like it was awesome, and like the waitress was telling us what good wings they had there. And they make their own sauce. I'm like, this place is amazing. I love Pittsburgh. So, but yes, one thing though, there's a lot of. It's a hearty town.
Yeah,
it's the food is hearty and it's cold.
Right.
So you pack a couple extra on there. Yeah. And you're just wearing a Steelers parka anyway. So what's the difference?
You want to endure the winter, you gotta get it on.
Exactly. So obesity is definitely a bit of a problem, as there isn't really access to gyms within Bellevue. They seem to live in Bellevue. Although use of the fitness trails and local parks is solving this issue. Yeah, there's no shortage of outside in Pennsylvania. That's one thing.
There's a whole lot of that.
There it is, everybody. Look at it. All sorts of outside.
You betcha.
The hospital within the area is small but quick, efficient, and effective for pressing matters, although most people tend to make the trip downtown to other emergency rooms or Med Express if medical attention isn't needed immediately. They really got into the...
They really did.
Wow, they broke it down.
Did they have like like notes? Like
I feel like they did.
And then they wrote their review based on their notes?
Okay, we have social, the drug problem.
They did a rough draft before they nailed this thing out.
Let's get into the health. Let's get into the health of the city and into that. That's good. Okay.
Very thorough.
Very thorough. The hospitals, well, we need to get into infrastructure, and they're going to want to know that. So population of this town, it's grown pretty steadily, went up after World War II is when it really shot up between 1950 and 1960. There's a lot of
steel
mills and
shit was going on.
Places to work here, and it stayed pretty solid, and it's kind of dropped down since like 1990 a little bit, but there are still 30,869 people in this area.
Wow.
Down 8% since 1990.
Okay.
And a few more females than males. I don't know if the males have died in the mills.
Likely, yeah.
That's what's happened. They've fallen into that vat of molten
steel.
Whatever that is, that glowing. That glowing.
That hot shit.
That's the one, there's a guy stirring with like a big pot, like a giant witch ladle.
Whatever's in there, they pull it out with very long, sharp tongs.
They twist it around. That's one guy fell in there, I feel like. A couple of them.
I'm sure a few.
Downs the population a bit. Median age here, 44.4, which is a little bit older, about 7 years older than normal. All the over 60-year-old demographics are high.
Great.
A lot of old people here, not as many young people. Married population's higher. It's the burbs. This is what you're going to get. 55% married. Everything like that. Less people that are single and with no children, and more people that are with children, obviously, if they're married. So race of this town, it's a pretty monochromatic kind of town here.
It's very Pittsburgh, yes.
90.9%, so 91% white.
It's a lot.
It's pretty white.
It's heavy.
2.3% black, which is way less than the 12% norm in the country here. 3.7% Asian, so that's close to the 5% norm, and 1.6% Hispanic, which is very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what's up with that, but that's very low. Religious, over 60% of the people here are religious, which is a lot, honestly, for the Northeast.
But it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and you're going to get a lot of Catholics there.
The
Catholics. 38.5% Catholic.
Holy.
Catholics are, everybody.
The
Baptists of the North.
Out of North.
At the North. Or a Western Pennsylvania, however you want to do it. However you want to do it. There are a couple of Methodists. You got a Pentecostal or two over there.
Yankee Baptist.
You know how it goes. 1.4% Jewish.
What? James doesn't know the words.
Hey. Yay. We got to sing ourselves. We got to sing. Good for that. All right, and let's see here. What else we got here? The economy goes. The unemployment rate is kind of normal with the rest of the country as it goes right now. But they haven't really.
Who knows what it is?
We don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to say for sure.
We're like, oh shit,
it's gonna be scary.
It'd be scary to find out the real number at this point in time.
Oh boy,
it's a lot more than 3, I think, at this point. So median household income here is high. It's about $68,500, which is normally about $57,500. So decent, actually. And the cost of living, 100 is average. Here it's 95. So
very average.
High salaries and low cost of living. Not bad. Housing's an 83.
How about this?
Median home cost $193,300.
15 minutes from Pittsburgh.
Not bad. Yeah,
That's great.
This is good stuff, man. It's not bad at all. I found, well, you know what? If you want to be just a bridge away from the lovely Pittsburgh, we have for you the Ross Township, Pennsylvania Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here, that seems to be a little pricey, is about $1,095, which is actually under the average. It kind of fits in with the...
It's about 93 away from it.
That's what I mean. It's about that. I found a lot. So you want to build a house.
Just land.
In a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like a half-acre lot.
Yeah.
You can build a nice house.
You don't buy it, they're making a cemetery out of it.
They're going to do it. They're going to cram it right in there. $24,500.
For what?
Half acre in a neighborhood.
That's
Not
unbelievable.
Even like in the middle of nowhere. It's like, in some other nice houses. So
unreal.
Nice spot. Looks like somebody had a big lot. They broke it up.
Sure.
And, are going to sell half.
That was
of it,
their storage lot.
Yeah, or whatever. They just had a bigger. Somebody bought a double lot, and I want some room. And now they don't. I found a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,254 square foot house. It's flammable. It looks very flammable is the best way to put it.
Lots of wood on the front.
Wood that looks dry.
Crispy.
It looks crispy. It looks like you are like one flicked match away from...
A lot of shake.
I don't like it. I'm a little worried about it. $121,431.
Okay.
It does not include fire insurance, which I'm sure you'd want, definitely. Then I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,416 square foot house.
Okay.
It's nice on the inside, but it's fucking yellow and weird. I don't know if it's like a Steeler theme house.
Could be.
Who knows if the inside's all black? I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but $197,405. So it's affordable compared
not
to.
that bad.
That's what I mean. Compared to the rest of the country,
it's
pretty goddamn affordable to live in a decent suburb of a nice city. So not bad. Things to do here, obviously. One, I mean, you're going to go to Pittsburgh sports.
Right.
Let's be
fun.
honest
It's
here.
just a bridge away.
It's right there. You have Pittsburgh is a very good sports town.
Yeah.
All sorts of shit. Another thing to do, stare at the bridges.
Sure.
We have to... There's so many bridges in Pittsburgh. If you've never been there, they're famous for it.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many there is. Somebody told us.
there was a number,
It's like 208. It's some ridiculous... It's every 15 feet.
Yeah.
It's like every street. If you've ever played like Sim City when you were a kid or something, like in school or whatever, if there was water, you make streets that go to it. You don't extend every street over the water.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, well, that's stupid. There's like 95 bridges. Let's condense that and make a highway going. Nope. They said that every street gets a bridge. Its own bridge.
And twist that fucking road until it hits water.
And it's
That's
going to hit
what we're gonna do.
and then put a bridge on it.
Until it hits water.
And then put a bridge on it.
446
446. I know I was going to say 296.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, 446. And you can look just down the river and just bridge. You're like, what is going on here? How do you maintain all of these? They're not the same.
No.
They're all different. So
built differently.
Yeah, you're like, what is happening in this town? But it gives it its personality where you like it. But it's just a strange... Very weird thing. It's the first thing you notice when you go in. You're like, what is up with are those all operational?
Right.
Those like old bridges you've abandoned over time and just left up and built new ones?
Are they closed off at the entrance and exit? What is this?
What I mean. Do you, with a car, would you just jump off into the river if you tried to go over it? Another thing here is Ross Township Community Days.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy. They're hosting their Ross Township Classic Car Cruise.
All right.
Oh, boy.
I'm into that.
Food and drinks and singing and dancing, too.
Not that.
Oh, yeah.
We could skip that.
Bunch of suburban Pittsburghites singing and dancing in the streets. That's what we want.
Bunch of white people that can't dance.
Heavy-set white people dancing in the streets. That's really what...
It's a lot of bent elbows, just a little bit of shoulder shrugging, fists up in the air.
And polka music going on and on. That's what's going to be going there, I feel like.
One fist at a time.
Yeah, one fist at a time. And then slowly, because you don't want to spill your beer.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Or pull a muscle.
Yeah. You have a cheese product in one hand and something with melted cheese, and then you have a beer in the other.
Very wet and cold in the other.
So you're going to have to be slow with it. So, and then come listen to your favorite oldies music and DJs featuring the Doo-Wop Band.
Yeah.
The Doo-Wop, oh, I'm sorry, that's not their name. I thought that was their name. I was like, that's pretty fucking.
That's what they do.
That's pretty lame. No, the Bloomfield Boys. Yeah, the Bloomfield Boys.
The name could use some work.
That sounds.
Are they like the pride of Pittsburgh or something? Do they matter?
I think they're the pride of Bloomfield, probably. Either that or their last name is Bloomfield.
Yeah, all three of them.
One or the other. They might be from.
Yeah.
That sounds like a suburb of Pittsburgh. Out in Bloomfield.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. You're telling someone online at the urinal at a Steelers game.
I'm from out there in Bloomfield.
We drove in from Bloomfield.
Yeah.
So, crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here. Property crime is about average, nothing crazy.
Okay.
It's just like a normal place. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is under half. So it's a safe. A lot of suburbs are like that. You get your drug-addled skate park teenagers that are gonna spray paint a couple of things.
Sure.
And then you get your nobody's actually killing each other.
And 44-year-old middle of the road, worried about the 401k.
Exactly.
White people that aren't doing anything wrong.
Except dancing in the street.
Except
poorly.
Terribly.
Poorly dancing in the
worst
street.
ways.
In a bad way. That said, let's talk about a murder in this little idyllic town.
It sounds nice.
It sounds nice.
I really like it.
It looks nice, too, from the pictures I saw.
Sure.
Looks decent. Looks like a decent place to live. Now, this murder, though, is not very decent.
Not the reason to be there.
And also not the reason to be there. Well, let's start in 1994.
Okay.
Shall we? Let's start in the mid-90s.
Good time to be alive.
94 was fun because there's a lot of crazy, weird shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, this is a time when, like, it's pre-internet. Like, this is barely internet.
Right.
Like AOL chat rooms and shit. But you could watch O.J. Simpson be chased by police for 2 fucking hours on live television. Like, that's what was going on in 1994.
Yeah.
So it was a very strange time.
It's the beginning of our arrogance, really, because they had just wrapped up the Gulf War with nary a life lost.
Absolutely.
And it was just a huge, like, Americans, we all got huge dicks. And it was like...
Well, the Berlin Wall had fallen, Russia fell. It was like, wow, we have no worries.
We're the best. And all we got to worry about is in-house.
No, we were like the cocaine hippos.
Yeah.
Do you know about them?
You told me about
them. Pablo Escobar bought these hippos.
It's bizarre.
For a zoo back in the day and imported them. And then when he got busted, the government took over all his shit. And they just let these hippos go. And he had like 4 hippos. And there are no predators for them or anything where they are now. So they're just reproducing like fucking crazy.
Unbelievable.
That's what's going on. So the cocaine hippos, just running wild.
That was Americans.
That's Americans,
in 1994.
Exactly. There's no natural predators, so they can just go crazy and breed and really...
No forethought.
Put flags all over everything and just have a good time. So, that's what ended up happening. And to 94, let's start in Ross Township, shall we? Nice. We'll talk about a nice couple here in Ross Township here. Let's talk about Tim Boskowski. Sounds like that's a good Pittsburgh name.
Very Pittsburgh.
Boskowski here. I think I'm saying it right. Boczkowski.
Might be Boczkowski.
Botch or Boz?
Listen, you're talking to the wrong guy for this information.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I don't know, man.
We're going with Boskowski, but it could be
Botch.
It could be Botchkowski. We don't, or Botzkowski. This could go either way because people also will make their name simpler.
Yeah.
Like my last name, you say it Pietragallo, but that's only because we tried to make it simpler for everybody because it's Pietragallo, and let's not go crazy. You know what I mean? Let's just don't worry about that extra syllable and let's calm down.
Forgiveness.
Exactly. That's kind of how we're like, relax. Yeah. It's one of those deals. So let's call him Boskowski here. So the Boz, we'll say.
It might be that too, just because that's a great name to go by.
That sounds cool anyway.
So rad.
Yeah. So Tim. Tim, he's born in 1955.
Okay.
So, 39 years old at this point in time, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Or
39.
39, yeah. And then he is married. Wow, almost Couldn't do math for a moment there.
Yeah.
He's married at this moment to Marianne Fullerton Buskowski. Okay, she's 35. Marianne is. They were married the year before, in 1993.
Great, waiting a while.
Yeah, well, for her, yes, but for him, he's had a kind of a tragic past.
Oh,
which is tough, and that's one of the things that Marianne is a very sweet person, as we'll talk about. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Here. Now, they got married in 1993. Tim is a denture maker.
Oh.
Which is one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
It's the coolest thing to...
It's cool, but it's also a really, really, really weird, creepy thing to do.
It takes a specific person.
It takes a real... And I get it. People need dentures, and it's a wonderful thing, but it also is creepy as fuck. It's creepy as fuck. I just picture some weird guy sitting in a room being like, I like teeth, and you know what I mean? I like making teeth.
I follow a girl on Twitter or on Instagram who does it. It's fucking
incredible.
Fascinating.
Oh, it's incredible.
But she would probably tell you right away, I'm definitely a weird person. I'm different.
And it's less weird if a woman's doing it.
Yeah,
so I don't picture her in a room going, I'm going to make a person. Because I feel like a guy's like, well, if I can make a tooth, I can make a vagina. You know what I mean? I can make a butthole. I can make a butthole. I know I can. And then it's gross. I can make, then they're going to be making tiny, kid robot people or some shit with weird
Gums
teeth.
Gums are just made out of a gelatinous form. I'll bet I can make a tit.
If I can make a tooth, I can do anything. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm a god. I can make teeth. Just creeps me out in a room.
She is all about teeth. It is fascinating.
So,
I love her posts. They're so good.
I mean, yeah. So that's what he does for a living, and he's only been doing that for a couple of years. Apparently, before that he did something else, but he's kind of started a new life. And if you find out what's gone on, you would understand why he would want to start a new life, and he kind of has to start a new life. But Marianne is a religious instructor at the Roman Catholic Church in town, the Nativity Roman Catholic Church in Ross Township. And she is very much into church things. Yeah. She does all sorts of church shit. She works at the church. They met at a Catholic singles function.
Oh, Jesus!
So this is it's a Catholic thing over here. You know what I mean? They're meeting at a dance there. You know, the Catholic dance they got. So they're going down there, and so he's a denture maker. She works at the church, and they end up getting married. She also is a CCD teacher as well.
What is that?
CCD is it's funny because we mentioned it a few weeks ago.
Did we?
It's what you have to do before communion in Catholic Church.
That. Yeah.
CCD. But a few weeks ago, as we were saying it, I was ranting about something, and I said CDC by mistake.
Oh.
And 3 people tweeted at me, it's CCD, and I'm like, yeah, no shit. I fucking, obviously I knew what the fuck I was talking about. It was a matter of, we've heard the letters CDC said so much in the last goddamn year that
12
that's
months
all that exists now. So anyway, CCD teacher, which I know first of all, it's a voluntary post.
Yeah.
And you have to go every goddamn Tuesday and Thursday or Wednesday night or whatever and teach a bunch of shithead little kids.
Oh, no.
Basically shithead little Italian kids that don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You have to teach them shit. So my stepmother used to be a CCD teacher. So that's how I know you have to be. She's like a Disney character. She's like the nicest person in the world. So you have to be a nice person to want to do this, to want to deal with other people's kids for free.
Right.
That's all you're dealing with. There's no other adults to do anything. It's
and
just
you're doing
kids.
it in a religious way.
Yeah.
So it's extra frustrating.
And they're like 9.
Yeah. They don't want anything to do with this
Gather a group of 9-year-old guineas and fucking tell them about God for a while.
Tell them about the lamb.
They're like, shut the fuck up. I'm telling you, it's awful.
Yeah.
Italian kids are the worst.
My dad beat my mom with the belt last night. So what do you want to tell me?
What do you want to tell me
There's
about?
a God, is that right?
All right, yeah, Jesus and whatever. Can I get that little medal you get with communion? Let me get that little medallion thing. It's my
first drip.
My first gaudy jewelry Italian kid set is what you get.
Perfect.
We all got one. God, Italian kids were the worst though. I remember in middle school looking around and being like, it's classes that were extra bad where like the teacher would cry. We had a class where the guy just broke down. He just broke down and sat down at his desk and put his head in his hands, and he just couldn't take it anymore. And this is while like erasers bounced off him and someone shot him with a water gun. Like it was like a horrible comedy scene. And this poor man just broke down. A grown man just lost it. He couldn't take it anymore. And I looked around, and there was like 26 kids in the class, and like 20 of them were Italian, and they were all the ones that were tearing shit up. I'm like, we are awful people.
Just ruining it.
We're fucking ruining everything. And they're, hey, look at him. Look at him. He's showing weakness. Throw something at him. This fuck. He's being a pussy. Throw something.
We broke him.
Oh, my God. We broke him. All right. Finally. Hey. I don't know. That was the goal. To break this poor man, and he broke. Eventually.
My senior year, we had Lou. It was a security guard. Our history teacher quit or was fired or whatever reason.
Left.
So they just filled in with Lou until until they got a new teacher. They never got a new teacher.
I'm fucking Lou.
So Lou just comes in and sits down and just starts telling us about American history, and we just all turned our backs to him and just started having our own conversation.
Yeah, we're not listening to Lou.
We all failed. But we were going to fail anyway.
Wait, how old were
Lou.
you? Yeah, Lou's not going to teach. The
Yeah.
senior year. All right, so we were 12. This was 7th grade. Different thing. But that's very irresponsible at 18 years old.
We had the smart girl in the class.
Of course, I wasn't even in school still by then, so never mind.
She wrote a letter to the principal about how ineffective this class is.
I would like to bring to your attention the ineffectiveness of Lou, to whom it may concern.
Yeah.
Lou, while not being a certified educator,
he has a walkie-talkie on his shirt right
puts
now.
us at a distinct disadvantage when we were learning about the First Continental Congress, and his walkie-talkie went off saying there's a clogged bathroom in the second story girls' bathroom, clogged toilet bowl. So that ruined class. Fucked it all up for us. Really disrupted.
I wish I could go back in time and just beat the living shit out of me. I really do.
We all deserve an answer.
I really do.
You should have just gone to the skate park and done drugs.
This may not exist, but I wish I'd have gone back and just been, you're going to ruin Lou's fucking day?
Don't be a dick to Lou.
Why are you being
Do you think Lou wants to be here?
He doesn't want. You don't want to be here? Lou wants to go the fuck home.
Either Lou definitely doesn't want to be here, or Lou's real excited because this is Lou's shot. Either way. Lou's like a minor leaguer who got called up, and he's like, I could do this. If I hit 300, they might keep me.
Poor Lou. I don't even know what his last name was. We never gave him the dignity and respect of finding out.
Every janitor I ever had.
Fucking Lou.
Every janitor.
He's security guard.
Oh, that's
security
even
guard.
worse. That's even worse. At least the janitor like cleans stuff. The security guys, look at these fucking standing there. As a kid, you look at standing as you get paid for that. Look at this fucking guy.
I don't think Lou did much standing.
Trying to stop us from smoking weed.
Yeah.
Go away.
He's a heavy set, chubby round.
Oh, good. So you could outrun him.
Yeah.
That's all that you needed as a security guard.
Yeah. He had a golf cart. That's how he caught us.
That's fucking hilarious.
Poor Lou.
See, we had these security guards, but in charge of them were these old ladies that were like, it was so weird. Like the hierarchy was like old lady lunch monitors in charge of security guards. So I made friends with the old lady lunch monitors. I made friends with them, so then nobody was allowed to bother me.
Yeah.
It was fucking great. Yeah, you had to scam it the right way.
I wish I would have known.
That's what you do.
I was just a dick to everybody.
I did that, and then I could go smoke weed and
Great.
shit. I would literally tell them, like, I'm going to be around the corner, so no one should be there for a little while, right? She'd be like, yeah, go ahead.
3-4?
She'd go, yeah, go ahead. And I go, thank you. Go around. That's what you do.
Unbelievable.
So you don't get in trouble. So anyway, one of her friends said about Marianne here, quote, anywhere she was needed, she was willing to help, especially where her kids were involved. She's very much, everybody says she's just a nice, sweet person, will help anybody. Another friend said, quote, when a couple celebrates their first anniversary as a family, instead of as a couple, that says something about them. They were very close, them and their children. Not even their children, Tim's children.
Not hers.
No, Tim has 3 children, 13 years old, 10 years old, and 9 years old. Wow. So that's a lot. That's a ready-made family.
Ready-made family, but also ready-made attitudes. Because these are kids that
teenagers.
Are Jesus.
Oh, by the way, their mom died.
Oh, no.
Their mom died in 1990.
How many times do they have the opportunity to say, you're not my mom?
Yeah, well, you're not my mom, and then you have to be sensitive because their mom's dead.
Yeah.
And, you can't be like, well, yeah, because your mom's out whoring around in Reno with, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Your mom broke the Biddle brothers out of prison. Because she lives in love with them, of course. Yeah, that's I'm all you have. Right. That's not how it works.
Biddles diddled her all the way through.
Got biddle diddled. That's a bad thing. So Marianne wants them to be a family and is so, accepting of them and loving of them. Sure. She adopts them within the first year of them being married.
Yeah.
They celebrate their first anniversary, like the friend said, as a family with their friends and the kids, and this is our family, our first anniversary of our family. So it's very much a family type of thing here. And he's making teeth in the basement like a weirdo.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's making teeth, but I just picture him in the basement
Might
with
be on the couch.
One really bright light on and like those goggle things that He's just like, meh.
Real close.
The butthole's next. All I need's teeth and a butthole, and then it's real.
A butthole looks very similar to the top of a molar. I can do it.
So his first wife died, like we said, and nobody really, because when someone's young and they have 3 kids and their wife died, you don't really press that much on them as far as like, so exactly what happened. Now, was this you don't really get into that because it's uncomfortable and you feel like he's probably sad about it, I would imagine. You know what I'm saying? It's,
hey, you don't poke and prod and you let him divulge it, but you also, what does it matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How'd she die? Who gives
I don't
a
mean
shit?
the wife.
She's dead.
I mean the rest of the, exactly. That's the other thing. Yeah. Why would you bother? Yeah. Obviously it's not a positive thing.
No.
Oh, it was great actually.
Right.
It was wonderful. She's
in her 30s.
She
probably
was
not good.
She was 35.
Good
so,
God.
That's
far too young.
Far too young. 35, 3 young children.
Yeah.
And you don't want to press too much. Unless it's something obvious, obviously. Like I have a guy I knew in high school, and I saw, God, this was the most horrible thing. He had 2 little kids, and they were pregnant with a third, and his wife died in childbirth with the third kid.
Yeah.
Kid was fine.
Yeah.
Wife died, so now he's got...
Oh, my.
Yeah.
He can't breastfeed.
He had to go on.
This is going to be a nightmare.
With 2 small kids and a newborn baby, and to raise them with your wife. Imagine. I can't even know what the hell this guy went through. I was like, oh, my God, this is that's tragic shit right there. And so this guy's kind of in that same boat, except it wasn't a newborn, obviously, but still, it's rough. And you wouldn't
35. It's a goddamn tragedy, no matter how you shake it.
Yeah, I think she was 32, the one I knew.
Good Lord.
Whoa, it was wild. So they don't know. All they know is that she had like a some kind of weird medical anomaly death. They don't know if it's a heart attack. They don't know if she had like
aneurysm or something.
Yeah, like because she was in the tub, so they were like, "Would she have an aneurysm and drown?" There's that sort of thing. So it was one of those type of medical problems here, but didn't matter anyway. Tim, though, he seems to have come around and come back. He's married Marianne, and also he's doing very well as a denture maker. He's makes a lot of money.
Sure.
Actually, does a really good,
those shits are expensive.
Yeah, he makes a great living, and obviously his butthole making business on the side is
booming.
It's a big boon to the family's accounts. Yeah. So he's doing well, and then they meet over here at the Catholic function. So that seems, everybody seems happy and legit and everything like that. Everything seems happy. Her parents, Marianne's parents, said they felt really sorry for Tim at first because he's a lone guy with these 3 little kids and a dead wife, and they felt terrible for him. But then they realized that he was a nice guy and they liked him for more than just sympathy after a while here. Now, they've only been together. They've been married about 17 months in 1994. And the months kind of toward the end of the year, toward the end of 1994, Tim starts telling people that Marianne is drinking a lot and that she's an alcoholic and things like that, which is odd because her friends don't really see that she's not really a big drinker. Her friends always say they've known her for 20 years. They've like rarely seen her tipsy even.
Oh, you don't know though, James. She gets home and then from 8 to midnight, it's booze.
Pounded. Yeah, you never know. But I mean, her friends are like, that's weird. We never see her shit face. She gets home, gets into the cooking sherry.
Yeah.
She's like,
she's guzzling like red wine.
Yeah.
Just hammering it.
That's so funny. I just pictured her in the kitchen.
Taking nips off the cooking shit.
Both hands around it. While her husband's in the fucking basement trying to make a butthole. It's a really weird house going on.
Butthole
right
prints on molars all night.
Yeah, no. I'm going to do it. So, they ended up, it got to the point where he started telling people that she needs like an intervention for her alcohol. Like it's a big deal. He starts telling her church friends that, will you join me to tell her that, blah, 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 all this type of shit.
I need a team.
Yeah, I need like a team. And it's really weird. Now at this point, they said that she drank socially maybe, but that's about it. She said that Marianne wants another child. Okay. She wants a child of her own. She doesn't have any kids. Mm-hmm. She's got the 3 kids they adopted, but she adopted his kids, but she wants her own baby.
Of course.
And so, she's 35 too, so she's pushing the upper end of it. So she, biological clock gets ticking here, and she's got, a family and a home and an opportunity to do this, and they have the money to do it. So she's like, why not? So, that's how that works. Now, her friend, when he's asking for her friends to do an intervention, one of her friends says that she didn't think it was necessary, but she would go to support her friend, just, whatever. But she said, I've never seen her like that drunk. I don't know what you're talking about. But then there's a nun, Sister Patricia. Oh, boy.
What does she have to say?
Sister Pat here.
Oh, boy.
She says she is with the Order of the Sisters of Divine Providence Convents. Fun lady.
Yeah.
That's a party lady.
She is Meryl Streep from Doubt.
She goes down to the skate park and smokes weed with the kids.
She heard about pedophilia and just thinks everybody does it now.
That's what they do.
There you are.
Them and their dirty penises.
I see you.
I see you with your penis. Making buttholes in your basement. I know what's going on down there.
That movie is fucking uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, that is uncomfortable. She says that she and other choir members have smelled alcohol on Marianne's breath during choir practice. Mm-hmm. Now, if I had to go to church choir practice, you bet your ass I'd be drinking beforehand too.
Might be make it a little more fun.
Seems like the way to do it.
Yeah,
because you're not going to you operate heavy equipment or do math or anything. You're going to fucking sing and have a good time. So people like to drink when they dance. So why not drink when they sing?
I see
karaoke.
You would break into some word in the song would remind you of another song.
Yeah,
the melody hits just right, and then you just just hit the remix button and
I
be
would.
like, and then Shorty got low.
I would. Be another song. I try to overpower people too. I'm louder. Overpowering drunken church ladies with my horrible rendition of some dirty fucking song. That I totally...
Apple bottom James.
That's right. That I'm making up new words to.
Absolutely.
That would be fun.
I wouldn't mind it.
I will ruin
If I had a good singing voice, I'd love to be part of a choir and just fuck it all up. That'd be fantastic.
I would love to ruin somebody's choir.
I can't sing at all.
No, I don't know how to sing either. I know how to imitate other people singing.
Yeah.
I can't sing it myself. I just can make fun of others singing.
Plug my nose and sound like Phil Collins.
There you go. Why not? Do it.
Let's go.
So, they say, now she seems like, by the way, Sister Patricia over here with the Divine Providence Convents. She seems like she's never met a person whom she did not smell alcohol in their breath. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Everybody she meets, she's like, I smell alcohol in his breath. Babies.
Yeah.
That baby's been drinking. Everyone's been drinking or like is trying to do some weird sexual thing in her mind. She's just weird. So now she wants to have more kids, and she's really pushed for this to have more kids. He wasn't real excited about it. As there's, I don't know. When a guy has 3 kids, there's not a lot. Some guys are like, I want 8, but most guys aren't like that. Most guys are like, that's enough now.
I wanted a lot, and then I had 2, and I was like, I don't want another one of these.
Yeah, my brother originally was like, yeah, my wife wants 5, and then they just had a second one.
Yeah.
Now they have 2 under 2, and he's like, I don't want any more kids.
It's crazy.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to have an accident in the garage, a medical accident.
And then I got a friend with 2. They had a third, and they're different people. The third changed them.
Oh, it changes everything.
It changed.
Once you're outnumbered,
it's nuts.
It's triage at that point.
Fucking crazy.
Once you're outnumbered, you're basically just playing prevent defense. You're just like a safety that's backpedaling the whole time. Don't let him get past you. Just keep it in front of you. Keep it in front of you.
You broke formation. No. God damn it, Susan.
Just no touchdowns, all right? No long plays. Just keep it in front. Let them pick up 15 yards. Fuck it, but just keep it in front.
And their third one is the hardest to control.
Of course.
Why not?
That's how it is. You can't do that. 3 is too many.
It's crazy over there.
You can't be outnumbered.
Yeah, and she wants another. I'm like, you're dumb.
Jesus
You're
Christ.
so dumb.
It's wild.
How could you?
At that point, you're just controlling and hurting. It's more like having a lot of puppies or something.
You're
like
a shepherd.
Keep them over there. You're just trying to keep everyone alive, and
you leave your job to go be a baby shepherd.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
There's no joy.
No, there's no smiling.
Very few moments of joy. So now she actually going toward late October and into November, she has an appointment and plans to be artificially inseminated.
Oh.
Actually, as a matter of fact. So she's going through with it. Hardcore. She wants to do
Whether
this.
he wants to be involved or not.
Exactly. He didn't really want to have more kids, but he's like, hell, I guess I'll bust off into a cup for you there, and whatever. Sure.
Or it's somebody else's, and either way,
yeah,
he can't control it.
There you go. So she's really making plans for this, though, Jimmy. She quit her job.
Wow.
To be a full-time mother. She's like, I'm going to get pregnant. I'm going to take care of these kids in the house. And she's getting into it. She's talking about having a kid of her own. She is in full nesting mode at this moment in time, which is fine. And she's also, when they got married, they have life insurance policies on each other, of course, $100,000 apiece. So that's nice. Now, November 7th, 1994. This is about 4 days before her artificial insemination appointment. So this is go time coming up here. Now, this night, it's a Sunday, Tim calls the paramedics and the police to his home here in Ross Township, obviously. The first officer arrives on the scene, comes in the home, and he finds Tim attempting to revive Mary Ann, who is unconscious in the hot tub, or near the hot tub. I guess he pulled her out of the hot tub. He told the paramedics he was freaking out. He said that Marianne, she drank like 14 beers last night.
Jesus.
Got real shit-faced. They were celebrating, I guess. He said they were celebrating an upcoming event, which seems to be that they're going to be artificially inseminated. I don't know if this was her last night to drink or whatever, but she had to
probably
purify for a few days. I don't know how that works.
Just do a quick 48-hour cleanse.
I feel like you want to kind of make the environment inhabitable for a couple of days. I don't know how. Maybe not.
Got to nest your womb also.
I don't know. Maybe you want to do meth the night before. I don't know what. Maybe that'll perk up the womb and make it more adaptable to grab shit. I have no idea how these things work.
Get the beakers bubbling in there.
I don't know if this is going to come as a shock to everybody, but Jimmy and myself, neither of us are medical professionals.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I know sometimes you might confuse it. Obviously, we sound like we are, but no, it's shocking. We're not. So, don't know anything actually. So they've been celebrating. He said he left her in the hot tub when he went inside to take a shower, and that he came back and she was unconscious, face up in the hot tub.
Fuck.
So he's like, I don't know if she passed out from the booze, and I don't know what the hell happened here. She hit her head. I'm just trying to revive her. So police officers and the paramedics and everybody, they pull her out of the hot tub. They attempt to revive her. They can't revive her right there, so there's an ambulance, and they get her in. They're rushing her to the hospital. This is very touch and go, obviously. There's, an unconscious woman that's been in water.
Sure.
So that's bad. You're dealing with, you don't know how long there's been no oxygen for brain damage.
Right.
Could be a lot of bad things as we all know from this. You hear about kids falling in pools all the time.
Oxygen deprivation will change your whole makeup.
I would say it'll ruin your brain. I mean, that's you need oxygen.
Yeah.
So, Detective Gary Waters is the first detective to get to the scene, and he arrives about 3:00 in the morning at the scene here. And he has a quick conversation with Tim. He notices that there's a scratch mark on Tim's neck, so he makes note of that. They take Marianne to Allegheny General Hospital, and which, by the way, you wonder why I do these reviews, by the way. They take him to the hospital, Allegheny, which is not the closest hospital, as we know from that very detailed review of medical facilities that I gave you for a fucking reason. Yeah. So there are hospitals right around, but at the insistence of Tim, they take her to Allegheny General Hospital.
The further one.
The further one. That's the one, I guess. I think that's the bigger one, but he said that's the one I want her to go to, which is more time going by now. There, they work on her, but she is pronounced dead at the hospital.
No.
Yeah, so Marianne dies in the hot tub.
Damn it.
Yeah, not good. So that's a rough thing. The autopsy that they do reveals that her death was caused by asphyxiation, resulting from blunt force trauma to her neck.
Oh.
Which, if you slip in a tub and you fall and hit your head, and then you would drown.
$1 million baby.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
There's things happen.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It happens a lot. The other day, Sarah, you know those big, those balls that people sit on?
Yeah.
Like exercise ball
aerobic
things?
ball.
Yeah, Sarah has one of those. She just likes to bounce and mess around. The other day, she has it up by the camera, and she's on her knee on the counter.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck happens around here?
And there's, granite countertops, and she's like up at the counter bouncing on her knees. And I'm like, if that thing shoots out from fucking behind you, your face is going into there, and I am getting blamed for murdering you. No one's believing this has happened. So I said, I'm taking a picture. I literally took a picture of her on her knees by the thing, waving at me. I'm
for
like,
your defense.
Yes, this is what you're doing first. And I'm going to say, I told her not to do this, and then she killed herself.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens to you, I'm like the murder guy. They're going to fucking think I did something wrong. They're going to be like,
this guy's been researching how to get rid of you for
forget
months.
about it. He's been for years, he must think he's got a way to get away with it. Like, no. Like, you have to be so careful.
Yeah.
I always tell her that. Goddamn, careful getting into the tub. Careful. Don't slip.
Yeah, we've kind of pigeonholed ourselves into having zero relationships anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Can't talk to my kids anymore, so if anything happens to them, I'm the guy.
Of course, yeah, we're fucked. We just have to sit in a basement and make dentures and pretend it's a butthole. I don't know what we're supposed to do anymore. I don't know what we can do anymore, Jim.
Give me the butthole stencil, James. I got another molar.
Okay, here you go. Hold on, I'm finishing it first. You can have it when I'm done. You have it when I'm done. 1 second. We got to get 2 of these, really, if we're both going to do this down here. We got to get 2 of these.
Yeah. We only have one.
Why do we have one?
Jesus.
It's a write-off. Let's get two.
There
Come
are
on.
more molars in the
business.
mouth than any other tooth, and we only got one
We
of
only
those.
have one stencil. This is ridiculous. Fuck, man. We get our shit together. So the autopsy also shows numerous points of trauma of a recent origin on Marianne's body and head, including hemorrhages on her neck and bruises on the interior of her scalp, which were inconsistent with the treatment. That they're saying that's not damage from trying to revive her. Because in a scene like a lot of times there'll be broken ribs and shit. That's the revival attempt. That's the CPR and stuff. So that we'll have
Compressions don't go on the skull.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have bruises and they'll have all sorts of broken ribs and then
Oh, they fucking slam fists on them. They punch the shit out of people.
So yeah, sometimes that'll end up happening and then they'll go, oh, there was all these injuries, and they go, yeah, they fucking bounced up and down on this person for a half hour.
Paramedics?
Yeah, there you go. Fat paramedic. It's Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
guy's a heavy set guy. He just came from that hockey bar at the hotel I was in. He ate those wings with the whiskey barbecue sauce. It was delicious.
And the Penguins lost, so he was pissed.
He's pissed off. He goes, God damn it, Sidney Crosby, you fucking bum.
Breathe, damn you!
Breathe.
As he's just beating on her.
Yeah. So that happens, though. So, but this is inconsistent with that, with this poor woman. Marianne's blood alcohol level at the time of her death. Now, here's a big thing, because Tim's been telling everybody she's drinking, and her friends are like, I don't know about this. Her blood alcohol level is 0.22%.
That's a lot.
Which is a shitload of booze.
Yeah.
That's about 3 times like the legal driving limit in this state. And it's, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's blurry.
I mean, that is really blurry. Another, 0.33 is like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So we're getting into
0.4 is generally you're deceased already.
Your John Bonham level.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not good.
Not good drunk. It's bad stuff. So this is 0.22 is a lot. That's a lot. So you got to be a pro to even get to 0.22, I would imagine.
Yeah. You got to handle booze pretty well.
I don't think I could get 0.22.
No?
I don't think I could get that far because I don't like to drink that much. So I would be, well before that point, I would have quit drinking. It would have become not fun for me anymore.
It depends on what I'm drinking, because if I'm drinking beer, I don't get as drunk because I don't drink as many of them because the bloat is...
How could you be? Yeah.
As I get older, too, it's so embarrassing. It bloats further, and then I just feel fucking gross.
Yeah.
But wine, I'll drink like a bottle. I'm sure that's more than 0.22, right?
No.
A bottle of wine, a whole bottle to yourself?
That's not...
Pretty fast?
No. 0.22 is still...
I'm pretty hammered.
That's more than that. That's how hammered 0.22 is. 0.22 is pretty fucking hammered.
I'll drink like a fifth of whiskey. Like I did at St. Louis show. I drank like a fifth there.
Oh, that was
a lot.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. I don't know if I was that drunk, though.
Yeah.
I may not have been that drunk.
She said it was... he said it was 13 to 15 beers.
That's so many.
That's a lot of beers. And that would be the equivalent of basically 4 bottles of wine.
Oh, boy.
So 0.22 is that. That's
like 2 gallons of liquid.
That's a shitload.
Fuck, man.
That's a lot, man. I would think, you could drink 2 gallons of Pepsi and you'd fucking...
You'd pop.
You'd go unconscious in a hot tub, I would imagine.
Probably.
They'd find you. So now, before she's taken to the hospital, as they're taking her out, Tim spontaneously tells one of the detectives, quote, I hope they don't try to put this on me.
What?
Which is a strange thing to say.
Well, Tim.
In a tragedy like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just odd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're worried about that.
I got questions, Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Well, now I want to ask you about it. I felt bad for you, but now let's have a conversation, Tim.
There was zero thought of that a minute ago, Tim.
So about 3:45 a.m., detectives Waters and James Civitek, CV his name starts with.
Boy.
Oh, boy. Civitek, we're going to call him. Kvetic. Kvetic or Civitek? I don't know.
CV.
Civetic or Kvetic? I'm not sure.
And it could be Polish, so that's right.
It could be.
Or Kwe.
You know what? I don't know.
Shvi?
I don't know what's going on
Shvi.
there. Yeah, it's something. Some James guy in a polka band, put it that way. Detective Polka Band.
All right.
Detective James Polka. He spoke to Tim and noted that Tim had a small injury on his left thumb. So he notes that, and another guy noticed a scratch on his neck. A little more questions go on here, a few more, and the detectives ask him if you want to come down to the police station. Tell you what, let's go down to the police station, because the kids are, by the way, sleeping in the house.
Still.
No, they're not sleeping there. They've been, we'll talk about where they went, but they they're sleeping. So he's like, let's go down there. We don't want to disturb the kids, and let's just, do all of that. So he said, sure, why not? And he agrees to gives the detectives the clothes he'd been wearing earlier in the evening, and all that sort of thing. They take him to the police station. He's not handcuffed or anything like that. They just drive him down there. Yeah. Why caravan like a bunch of fucking crazy people? We'll give you a ride.
Yeah.
We're nice people here, I guess. So
let you breathe.
Yeah. Tim is with the police, and they look at him, and they're, just while he's sitting there and under the lights of the police station, or fluorescents are a little more than your house. Mm-hmm. So they start noticing some scratch marks on his arms and sides and hands, and a lot of scratch marks on him. So they talk to him a little bit, and basically after some conversation, they ask him. They not even ask him. They kind of say, "You did something, didn't you? Right. You had something to do with this, didn't you? This isn't an accident. Like, your wife's death is something's going on here." And he nodded. Like, yes, is what he nodded. So they're like, okay, this is very interesting. The way this worked, they kept him in a room in the basement from 4:20 a.m. until 11:30 p.m. is what he says. Now that's a long time.
4:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m.
p.m.
That's
too long. It's almost,
what is that?
It's like 17
19 hours.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit.
19 hours.
It's a long time.
Oh, my.
It's a long, usually after about 8 hours of interrogation. This is an interrogation, though, so it's different. But 8 hours of interrogation is, after that, the judges, you start looking at that's getting thrown out.
Sure.
Judges will start tossing that shit because it's appeal bait after that. Yeah. So they said they never afforded him a specific option to leave. They weren't like, well, you can go, but he was never under arrest. So he could have left, but they didn't say every 5 minutes, by the way, you're allowed to leave whenever you want.
Figured it was assumed.
Yeah, he was photographed. His wounds were photographed. They did a polygraph. They asked him if he'd do a polygraph. Now, that's voluntary, though. You don't have to do a polygraph. He could have said, I'm not doing that, but it looks bad if you're not, don't do the polygraph to be eliminated as a suspect, as they tell you.
Yeah.
So they do that. He's interviewed by detectives. He claims he's had no opportunity to sleep either before or after he was transported and was at the police station. He hasn't slept and all this sort of thing. So he figured later on he'll say, I thought I was being detained the whole time. You know what I mean? I thought I was being detained, and the detectives the autopsy wasn't even done yet while they were talking to him. Really? They were just going on suspicions. And, but, he says that he says they should have let him go anyway. Okay. Now they arrived at the police station at 4:20 a.m. This is how it went down. He's interviewed until about 5:45 a.m. So that's only an hour, 25 minutes. Then this was in the basement office. So they didn't stick him in a hole in the basement. This was Detective Walter's office in the basement. So at all times, they said he was alert and responsive. 5:30 a.m., he signed a consent form allowing police to photograph the scratches on his body, take fingernail scrapings, and obtain items found near or around the hot tub.
Yeah.
So he's letting them do an investigation, basically. Also, he's agreed to submit to a polygraph. During the time, they said he was free to move about the police station.
Yeah.
He wasn't in a locked room. He would get up and go to the bathroom and go get a drink out of the water fountain. And he was not a suspect at this point, is what they said. He could move around. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good terrific step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Around between 6 a.m. When the polygraph examiner was contacted and 8:15 a.m. when they arrived at the police station. He ate breakfast with the officers. They discussed football. Yeah, and their kid. It's November.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. Bill Cowher. I like the way he's got that Cordell Stewart. This guy.
I don't know about that guy.
I don't know. He played receiver too, but I like him. I like him back there.
He can play a lot of positions.
Slash. They call him. I like. He's running around. I like him. That Barry Foster boy. He's I'll tell you what, he's running around everywhere. I like him. He's going to plow right over people, that Barry Foster.
Slash, I hope he's good at one fucking thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. He's, so they talk about that. They talk about their kids, talk about other bullshit. Who knows? He never said that he was like extra tired or that he wanted to go home or that he needed to take a nap or anything like that. He did request permission to contact his father to ask about his children, and he was allowed to do that, see if they're okay. Now, the polygraph examiner, who was a guy named Trooper Richard Ealing, he gets to the station and he tells him what's going on. That's at that point they advise him of his Miranda rights because he's going to be asked very pointed questions. So got to be now once you're anything questioned like that, you have to be Mirandized. So he signed an he signed a form waiving rights that were subjected to the polygraph examination. They told him he's free to leave. He couldn't be forced to take the examination. They went over all that shit with him. It's all written down. He signed it.
Yeah.
The starts at 10:15 a.m. And they said once they're done, it doesn't take very long. The trooper tells him that you failed.
Yeah.
You failed the lie detector. You failed it miserably, basically. You got your name right. Outside of that, not so much. Pretty bad stuff. He said this guy expressed the belief that he was responsible for his wife's death, and that's when he nodded. Yes. Now, this is one of those, a good polygraph examiner is that they don't even need the machine. The machine could be not even hooked up to anything. It's not even plugged in. It doesn't matter.
Body language is everything.
Well, you saw that Chris Watts one. She had him shitting in his pants the way she put it.
It was unbelievable.
She's like, well, we're both going to know the truth here in a minute, huh? And she's just like, you could see he's just like, oh, I'm fucked.
Right now, one person in this room knows the truth, but in a minute, two people
Yeah,
will. And
isn't
she was
that fun?
jacked.
Isn't that fun? That's how she was. But he's like, yeah, that's terrific. Scared shitless.
He didn't because what do you ask?
Yeah.
You just got to go, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. What do you say? But cool, I guess.
She loves her job.
She seemed to really be into it. So, which you would love nailing that asshole too. He killed his fucking kids and his wife. You'd want to be like, yeah, let's find out. Would you look at that? I'd be a total dick to him. But
possibly the worst way. It could only be worse if he sexually did anything to those children.
That would be the only thing worse.
But really, just a disgusting monster way of murdering children.
Horrible. He's a nightmare, like Chris Watts.
And a wife, obviously.
And obviously, yeah, the wife. We're just taking the kids because that's extra.
Oh,
at least you can have a legitimate problem. Not that he did, but you could have a legitimate problem with an adult whatever you're between you is whatever. But the kids, no.
You up the ante on the scumbag meaner.
You invented those.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. You created this.
Yeah, they didn't ask to be.
No.
So he tells him that. Tim nods that, he had something to do with it. It's at this point that Tim says, quote, this is pretty serious. Maybe I should call someone. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't say
lawyer.
Doesn't say a lawyer. He doesn't say what lawyer. Yeah. He doesn't say I want to call a lawyer. You have to specifically opt out of an interview with the lawyer. You can't just go, maybe I should call a lawyer. They'll go, well, maybe you should. But first, maybe let's talk about this for a minute. I mean, if you call a lawyer, who knows? You have to say, I will not answer any more questions until I have a fucking lawyer.
Right.
So anyway, he even then they'll still ask you questions till he gets there, or they get there, I should say. So I just pictured some scumbag dude. Sorry. So he just got out of the basement with his dentures. So he says that. They tell him he failed the polygraph, and he says, again, they remind him of his Miranda rights. He doesn't have to talk if he doesn't want to. But he then again affirms that he nods when they talk about it, the death. All three officers confront him with their belief that he caused Mary Ann's death, and he again nodded.
Yeah.
One of the Waters, this detective, he said, quote, I told him, there's no doubt in my mind that you caused your wife's death. I know you want to get it off your chest. And he said that he nodded yes. Then he said, I'll tell you what really happened when I have my attorney here.
Okay.
Said, we'll talk about it then. So he told the officers that he would tell them what happened once James Herb, who's a lawyer, once he gets there.
Okay.
Once Jimmy Herb gets here, we're in. So they said, okay, all questioning stopped. They called the attorney.
Yep.
At 11:30 a.m., he was transported. That was a typo. It's 11:30 a.m., not p.m. By the way. They didn't keep him there for 19
7 hours.
Yeah, that was a typo in the court document.
Okay.
Thanks, state of Pennsylvania. So at 11:30 a.m., he's transported, no restraints still, to police headquarters. This is where they give him the fingernail scrapings and all that sort of thing. At noon, he signed a consent to search his clothing and body and cooperated with the physician who did his, physical examination of the fingernail scrapings and his scratches and everything like that. His attorney arrived there at about 2 o'clock and met with Tim alone for about an hour at the police station. Following the meeting, Detective Shvedek.
I bet it's Shvedek.
Shvedek.
It's such an ugly name.
It is. I bet it is. Yeah. It very well could be. Shvedek. He then told him of his Miranda rights again. This was in the presence of the attorney. And he said that he didn't want to make any further statements. And that was that. Okay. So that's how that worked.
Without his lawyer, and his lawyer showed up.
His lawyer showed up, and then he was like, I told him I'd tell him what happened once you got here. And the lawyer was like, what are you, out of your fucking mind?
Are you dumb?
Now that I'm here, you're not saying anything else at all.
We at the law offices of Herbs and Spices say no.
Of herbs, spices, rosemary, thyme. And
crushed red pepper.
Crushed red pepper. You know how it works.
Yeah.
So they end up arresting him, obviously, for this. They think he killed his wife, so they're going to arrest him. And her family feels bad because her family feels like, did we miss signs of this? Was there like could we have stopped this or whatever? They don't know. They said that her aunt, Mary Ann's aunt, said his first wife's death always bothered her, and never knew the circumstances, and now she wishes she would have really thought about it and asked more questions. She said, when I found out, right away I said, he murdered her. He murdered her. He murdered her. Okay. His niece, her niece. So relatives are pissed off, and they're mad at him, basically. They want to they're mad at him, as I don't blame him. So anyway, in jail, he makes incriminating statements to fellow inmates. Not one, lots. Several, yeah. He basically pulls a, what's her name? Jesus Christ.
Jodi Arias?
No, I can't remember her real name now. The Manson girl.
Oh.
The main one.
From?
No, that went by Sadie Mae Glutz.
Oh, God.
Susan Atkins.
There you go.
Atkins. There you go. I had to say that. Susan Atkins, when she was in jail, just basically told everybody. She wasn't even in for it. She was in for something else, and she was just telling everybody, is that Sharon Tate? I killed her.
Jesus.
Giving details.
Opening the whole thing up.
Oh, yeah. Just telling her everything, telling everybody everything. That's how she got busted. That's how they all got busted, was cellmates of hers told the cops to get their time reduced. So he was telling, he said that, I killed my wife. This happened. And he said, I don't know, it was stupid, I guess, is what he said. That was stupid, wasn't it? Is what he said to a cellmate. They're like, probably, yeah. Now, his
no dumber than telling a stranger.
Yeah, I would. No shit. I don't know. It's the first dumb thing you've done. I guess this is not much smarter. A guy named Randy Irwin, who's an inmate there, he said that Randy kept notes of conversations he had with
he wants
Tim.
Out.
Fuck yeah. He kept notes about the deaths of the wife here during a 3-week period when they were both incarcerated in the county jail. Mm-hmm. At one point, he asked Tim why he killed his wife, and he said, I don't know, that was stupid. So that's his thing that he does. He just tells everyone, I don't know, that was stupid. Now, this guy's taking notes. Went in the cell. He's like, he said this and that. That some bitch said that. That's hilarious.
Getting out of this DUI.
So the next day, the police here, they go, hold on a second. We think he killed his wife here. Didn't his first wife die too?
Yeah, we have some digging to do.
Hold on a minute. Let's call the police down where he's from and find out how she died. So they call Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, it's all the way down there.
Where he's from. And they go, yeah, we got this guy. We know his wife died down there, and this is what happened there. By the way, what's the deal with the first wife? And they find out, she died in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the bathtub. So they go, interesting.
Yep.
Accidental, and they went, yeah, it was an accidental death. And they go, you might want to look into that a little bit more, because
head over to Home Depot and grab some shovels.
Yeah, we got a hot tub dead wife over here. That's pretty similar.
Yeah.
So they're going to look into this now. So now he's got a lot of problems. He used to be married to another Mary, Mary Elaine Pegger Boskowski. Elaine is what she goes by. Birth date 1956.
Okay.
So same age as the other Mary. When he lived in Greensboro, they ran a miniature golf course and an ice cream shop together. Mm-hmm. Totally different thing.
Wild.
Really weird.
How did he get into something else so niche.
It's denture making.
So specific.
In a 4-year period.
Yeah.
Not only into it enough to make a really good living off of it.
That's wild.
I don't know.
In a hockey town, it's kind of smart, though.
I guess so. Yeah, they're losing
making a lot of teeth.
A lot of teeth. November 4th, 1990. Let's go to. By the way, the other one was November 7th, 1994. Mm-hmm. November 4th, 1990 in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is coming from a neighbor. Okay. Now, by the way, we know that he claimed Mary Ann, the second wife, consumed 14 beers and some wine on the day she died.
Fuck.
And he left her in the hot tub and all that. Now, that's how that one goes. Liz Maple, the neighbor, she says that her and Elaine talked all the time, and that Elaine, before she died, had recently told Tim that she wanted a separation. Elaine had said she couldn't afford to leave him yet, so she borrowed clothes and shoes from her neighbor so she could look for a job as a secretary. She didn't have work clothes.
Yeah.
So that's how bad she wants out of this. Is she needs to get a job, and she needs to make her way the fuck out of here and get away from this guy. So Elaine had told her neighbor that she hoped that she could start over and get out of there with her children by January of 91. That's 2 months away from this thing
I got
here.
6 weeks.
Yeah, well, that was because she was about to receive a large settlement from an insurance company for injuries she suffered in a car accident. So this was as soon as she said, when I get that check,
I'm out of here.
rather than depositing it in the family account, I am bouncing with the kids and getting my own place. So that's her plan. But November 4th, 1990, at 2:50 a.m., Liz Maples, the neighbor, opens the door to Tim standing there in the middle of the night. This is 2:50 a.m.
Right.
And it's cold outside. It's November in Pittsburgh, and he's shirtless outside standing at her door.
Greensboro.
In Greensboro. Either way, cold.
It's cold, yeah.
Cold in the winter.
Yeah.
It's North Carolina. It's freezing in the winter.
It snows.
It's
like
hell
a bastard.
down there.
Yeah.
100 and humid in the summer, fucking snowing in the winter. It's the worst climate ever. Let's move down there. The worst of both worlds. Yay. Awful shit. So anyway, she says that he looked, all sorts of not together at that moment. He's got shirtless. It's cold. He's got scratches on him. She said he has vomit stuck in his chest hair.
Oh.
So that's not a good sign.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that looks bad. And he says, something's wrong with Elaine. Can you take care of the kids? Is what she says. So she says, yeah, sure, I guess. Why not? His story is he heard a thump in the bathroom that night, and he went to investigate and found his wife submerged in the bathtub. And he told police that she drank too much at a church dance that night and must have slipped in the bathtub.
He's got a lot of boozy girls.
A lot of boozy, churchy girls. He likes
boozy, churchy, and clumsy as fuck.
He likes them boozy and churchy and wanting to soak. That's what he likes. He likes a very specific woman, the boozy church woman.
Unstable on her feet, wobbly.
Yeah, great mother, loves church, drunk as the day is long. That's the type of guy he likes. Is really the type of woman he likes. That's a really odd thing. So at 2:55 a.m., emergency personnel were summoned by him to their apartment in Greensboro. Rescue personnel from the fire department and the medical services were directed to the second floor bathroom by the children.
Oh.
So they were still around. The rescuers found Tim attempting to perform CPR on his wife, which is a familiar scene we've heard of before, who was nude on the floor, as you would be, if you were taking a bath. She wasn't breathing and had no pulse. Bad signs.
It's over.
Bad signs, one and all.
Sure.
They attempted to resuscitate her, but failed, and she's rushed to the hospital, where she is pronounced dead at 4:16 a.m. So, not great. At the police department, they take him down, obviously, to chat about it. He tells them that he was estranged from his wife, even though they were still living together. Yeah. They weren't really together. She wanted a separation. He said they separately attended their church social that evening. They went in separate cars, and that his wife had been drinking alcohol before the church function and then after the church function. They came home alone. He came home alone about 12:40 is what he tells them at first. But he gave us a couple of different versions. One version, he claimed he was listening to headphones while he was asleep in the master bedroom and was awakened when he heard a noise in the bedroom. And he said that he used a screwdriver to pop the lock of the bathroom door when he got no answer after knocking. In another version, he said he was listening to music downstairs on the headphones and heard a noise in the bathroom. And he said he took the hinges off the door to get into the bathroom.
Oh.
Those are two very different ways of getting into the room.
Yeah.
Popping a lock and taking the hinges off. You'd remember taking hinges off.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if you go, I can't remember if it was locked and I had to jam it or if I don't remember, but taking hinges off is a
Aren't the hinges
process.
usually on the lock side?
They're on the inside.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you bother having a lock?
Why lock it if you just take it off its hinge?
It's a little easier to take. Yeah.
Just pop those out. I'm in. Mm-hmm. Weird.
So very, very strange shit here. So he claims, though, in both versions that she was lying on her back in the tub with her head underwater. He said he pulled her head up, placed her nightgown under her head, and pushed her on her stomach to force the water out, is what he was saying. That's what he said. He said that vomit came out of her mouth instead of water.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And then he says that he lifted her out of the bathtub and again tried to force water from her by pushing and squeezing on her abdomen and attempting CPR. And that's when he said after he couldn't revive her, he called 911. I'd say call 911, then try to revive.
Yeah.
But I guess you don't want to waste time. You try to revive. You just see her, you might just dive into it, start trying to revive.
Maybe.
And
also,
then you'd be
the
like,
people on the other end of the phone
shit, I'm failing.
generally know what you should be doing.
That's the other
They'll
thing,
coach
too.
you through it.
Yeah, I don't know if his, running an ice cream shop would.
Maybe he's really
got
good at it.
Really good at it. It's Pittsburgh. Anyone could drop dead at any moment.
Any moment.
So there was they do a little investigation. There was no evidence that there was ever water in the tub that night at all, which is, he said he found her submerged.
Okay.
So no evidence there was water. No alcohol was found in her system.
None.
Ugats.
Okay.
Zero. So that's odd. She had vomit in her lungs in an autopsy
She
showed.
aspirated it. Good Lord.
Vomit in her lungs, bruising on her head and body, cracked ribs, and lines across her chest and abdomen.
Okay.
That's what it said. Now, both wives are within a year. One was 35, one was 36 when they died. This both happened on a Sunday in November.
Yeah.
Both wives had the same exact weight when they died. 151 pounds on both of their autopsies.
151-pound Marys.
151 pounds, named Mary.
Wild.
All of this type of shit. By the way, they're both buried in the same cemetery.
Stop
Their
that.
graves are in the same section, Jimmy.
Wow.
They're in the same fucking area of the cemetery.
That is wild.
That is insanity.
That's too much.
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's weird. So the autopsy they do on her, they found all these bruises, a diagonal pattern of 3 parallel lines measuring 9 to 11 inches long impressed on her stomach. In addition, 5 fresh bruises on the interior of her scalp, and only one of the 5 bruises could have resulted from someone falling and hitting their head in the bathtub, they said. Now, toxicology report said no alcohol or antidepressants in her blood at all. And the doctor ended up saying they could not determine the cause of her death, but the doctor does say that it's in their opinion that Elaine did not die from drowning. Something else. Her death certificate indicates her cause of death is undetermined, and it just never
Stays that way.
Stays open.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened. So that's how he skates in, and now they're reopening it. It's a little more
determined.
determined.
There's only 4 ways to do it, right? It's homicide, accidental, natural causes, or undetermined.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so undetermined, we're here now. So the problem is there's people with this doesn't seem like it was such a mystery. The evidence shows that as emergency medical personnel arrived at the apartment, the 3 children were taken to the neighbor's house, like we said. Jerry Minton arrived at the apartment at approximately 10 a.m. to help the family. It's a family friend. While at the apartment, the neighbor told Minton earlier that she heard, the young daughter told the neighbor that, and she's, I think, 10 at this point, that she heard her parents arguing and her mother telling her father, "No, Tim, no, stop."
Wow.
So that's a big deal. Later that same day, Minton, the friend here, went upstairs with young Sandy to help her pack some clothes to spend the night at someone else's house. As they walked past the bathroom where this all happened, Sandy said that she heard her parents arguing and she heard her mom say that. So, that's interesting.
Sure.
That'll come in handy if you're going to charge the guy. Now, the next door neighbor, Liz Maples, like we said, she lived next door. She said that Elaine twice told her that Tim told Elaine she was going to kill her. So she told her neighbor that Tim had told her she was going to kill her twice, a week before the death and again the day before the death.
My God.
She said, yeah, Tim said he's going to kill me. At one point, Mabel said that she characterized Elaine as frightful, terrified, and scared, and really wanting to get out of the house. Yeah. She said that on the night of the death, he requested that she care for the children, and he accompanied Elaine to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Mabel will then say that he brought the children over at about 3 a.m., but she put them to bed, right away and whatever. The next morning, when they were eating breakfast, she's feeding the kids breakfast. The 5-year-old kid says, quote, "My mommy was screaming so loud last night I had to put my hands over my ears."
Oh, that's loud.
She wouldn't stop screaming, and I saw her in the bathroom holding her hands up, and Daddy told me to get out. That's what the fuck?
Boy, oh boy.
That's I don't know what else. I mean, it's a kid, so it's a 5-year-old. I don't know. They're not looking at that as the most reliable. But
that's usually the most reliable.
Well, I mean, they don't know 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
They don't know. I saw 5-year-olds will tell crazy stories.
Sure, but
that's very specific.
Yeah.
That's if he said I walked by and then Barney was in there and then SpongeBob came and then the fucking the Wonder Pets were there and then, like if that would be a different story.
And then we all went on a trip and solved a crime.
Yeah, and then the little Einsteins took me on a rocket ship. That would be different.
What's going to work? Teamwork.
I'd go, okay, yeah, that's fine. But this
I did watch
very
a specific investigation where they interviewed the child, and the child said, and then I saw the monster appear, and they're like, all right, kids. And they're like, got him away. And then they're like, oh my God, he's talking about his dad. Oh, God. And that's what his dad, when his dad gets drunk and mean, he's the monster. Yeah. And his dad killed mom.
That makes sense. That's
sometimes you just got to pay attention to what the kid says.
Yeah, you never know, especially if
until they start bringing up mystical characters.
That's the thing, and shit like that, and Easter bunnies and shit. Right. But this something that specific. That's not like something like whimsical a kid would make up. Right. I saw my mommy and they were screaming, and then Daddy told me to get out. Oh, isn't that fun?
And it was so loud I had to cover my ears.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right here. So back to Ross Township. Paramedics learned here that when police pulled Marianne out of the water and tried to revive her, paramedics learned that Tim had previously attempted to resuscitate her, and they interviewed him and noticed that he had scratch marks on his neck and a fresh nick on his thumb. They asked him to remove his shirt, and they saw fresh red marks on his back and all that sort of thing. He claimed he was sunburned, and Marianne had given him a scratch massage.
Oh, okay.
But they noticed that he was pale and not sunburned at all, and it's November in Pittsburgh.
Except you're not pink, sir.
Yeah. Have you been to the Caribbean lately? Because the sun hasn't been out here in 3 months. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We've had a gray haze.
The sun's been up for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, 4 hours, and it's very, very cold. Right. You put it out, even through a window, I don't feel heat.
It feels like the sun's broken.
It's not working correctly. Someone needs to check on that. So the autopsy, revealed all that other stuff, and they concluded Dr. Rosen here concluded that Marianne, the second wife, died as a result of a homicide by manual strangulation, not by natural causes. So this isn't undetermined at all.
And suicide. There's 5. God damn it.
And suicide. There
I'm
going to
get so many tweets by now.
Yeah.
God
well,
damn it.
That's on them because they should have listened longer. Whenever anybody does that, I never take it as anything. I go, well, if you would have fucking listened 5 minutes longer before you tweeted, keep your fucking phone in your pocket, listen to the whole thing, and then tweet then. Stupid. Yeah. I have no sympathy for someone that does that.
Wait till the end when I beg for your help.
Shut up. Yeah. No, don't. The second you hear something, don't take your phone out. Wait 5 minutes. Maybe it's fucking, maybe we got it right. Give it a second. How about pay attention to the show, listen, and then tweet later? How's that sound? Okay,
and by then, maybe you'll forget. And it won't be so goddamn important to you.
There you go. Maybe the thing that doesn't matter at all to you, the 2 seconds of a 2.5 hour show, maybe you'll let it go by then. So, now sometimes if it's something we don't know, we're happy to get the information. Yeah. But if it's something that we correct ourselves, we're good. Yeah. So the bruises here, they said they were all fresh and everything like that. Now, Tim is arrested for Elaine as well. And he's going to say that she accidentally drowned, the first wife, and that Marianne died from a heart attack while in the hot tub.
Okay.
That's his game.
Dr. Tim.
Marianne slipped, fell, killed herself, accident. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Elaine. Marianne, heart attack.
Yeah.
Drowned from the heart attack. That's how it works. The kids give interviews here later on, and they talk, and the kids... this is on While the Children Slept, an episode of American Justice about the case. Oh, boy.
Tell us about it, Bill Wallace.
They said they supported their father's innocence. Mm-hmm. They said, whether he's guilty or innocent, I'm still going to love him. That's what the one kid said. So they go to trial for Elaine here first. The state presented contrary evidence from Randy Irwin, who was the guy who took notes in the cell on everything the other guy said. Irwin testified that he was reading a newspaper article about Marianne and Elaine's murders when Tim came up and said, quote, I'm famous. I'm the hot tub man.
Oh, my.
I'm the hot tub man.
Take it easy, Whirlpool.
The hot tub man. Jesus Christ. I'm the hot tub man. Oh, good for you.
Not a good thing to be.
The hot tub man sounds like a guy who blows other guys in a hot tub.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. He sits there waiting. You come in, you take your towel off a certain way, and that means he'll jerk you off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what that sounds like.
He's just like the creep that's already in the jacuzzi.
The hot tub man's down there. Never mind.
He's down there naked again.
Never mind. I know he's got nothing on under those bubbles. I know it. He said that he testifies that he asked Tim why he killed both women the same way, and that's when Tim was like, I don't know.
Pretty
why
dumb,
not?
wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the way you do it. So they said that at this point, they get to introduce evidence of Marianne into this as well on Elaine's trial. And there's a specific law here. When the accused contends a victim's death was an accident rather than a homicide, evidence of similar acts may be offered to show that the act in dispute was not inadvertent or accidental.
Okay.
So if someone says something's an accident, he's got a history of that same accident happening, you can introduce that evidence. But it's that specific to outside shit. Otherwise, it's character or it's different
If
things.
it's showing a pattern, there's a difference.
Yeah. So the court found these similarities that it's A through I. So both alleged victims were women and married to Tim, obviously. Both victims died at the home they shared with Tim, and he was present when both of them died. He was the last person to see both of them alive and perform CPR on each when emergency personnel arrived. That the alleged victim died in or around a bathtub and the other one died in or around a hot tub. That he made statements in both cases that his wife had accidentally drowned. That he made statements in both cases that his wife had a drinking problem and said that a drinking problem contributed to her death. Mm-hmm. That both women were similar physically. Both weighed 151 pounds at the time of death. And in this case, she was 34. The other one was 35. Both women died on a Sunday in early November, and insurance money was involved in both incidents.
Wild.
That's a lot.
That's too much.
It's too much.
Exact same.
It's too much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kill your wife, one in the spring, one in the fall, and you can't do it both well, it's wife killing season.
Yeah. Right.
That's what it is.
Did it get drawn?
Oh boy, it's the holidays are coming up right after Halloween. You got Thanksgiving, you got all this coming up. You got to get everything out and kill that wife off, clear her out for the holidays. It's too much.
I got drawn for elk this year. What'd you get drawn for? Wives, just wives.
Just wives, lots of wives. So they bring 17 witnesses to testify about the death of Marianne, and he contends the volume of evidence introduced through testimony was prejudicial against him. They have too much evidence.
That's
is what
the
he
idea.
literally said. It's too much evidence. It's not fair. It's overkill. 17? They could have done that with 5. And imagine that.
There's no limit to evidence.
Too much evidence. What they got? So they got fingerprints, DNA, this, that. That's too much. It's too much evidence.
Put me in jail?
Come on. It's obviously a conspiracy against me. They say they got all these things. They got my jizz. They got my blood. They got my DNA, my fingerprints, hair.
They got my butthole print.
They got my butthole print because this guy drew it out for me. I got a lot of problems. The butthole stencil I used.
I used my own. What do you think?
What do you think here? Jesus Christ.
I got one butthole on hand.
That is... By the way, my favorite excuse ever. That's too much evidence. Obviously, it's just overload. That's not fair.
Nobody's ever said that, right?
I've never heard, Your Honor, we object because that's too much evidence against my client. We don't feel like it's fair. I've never once heard that. That's a fucking new one, man. That's. You know what? I gotta give the credit for the legal, the balls on it.
Way to go, Herbs, Spices, and Mororum.
the utter balls to stand up in court and say, I object, Your Honor. Why is that? Well, that's just a lot of evidence, and it's just too much. It's not fair, Your Honor. We feel like they're piling on. Your Honor, they're being jerks. What do you say to that? How do you fucking get out of that? Yeah, stupid. He shouldn't have left so much evidence. So now the jury instructions in Elaine's trial are as such. This is what the judge tells the jury. Quote, now evidence has been received tending to show that Mr. Boskowski's second wife, Marianne Boskowski, died under similar circumstances. This evidence was received solely for the purpose of showing that Mr. Boskowski had the intent, which is a necessary element of the crime charged in this case, and for the purpose of showing the absence of accident and explaining some of the circumstances. circumstances and explaining some of the circumstances, including any delay in charging Mr. Boskowski arising in the investigation. If you believe this evidence, you may consider it, but only for that limited purpose and for no other purpose.
Got it.
So you can't just say, we think he killed the other one, so he definitely killed this one, which you would definitely do as a human being.
I mean, you've got to.
You can legally instruct whatever you want, but you're like, they both fucking, come on, Jesus Christ, 151 pounds?
Right.
I was ready to let him go until I heard they both weighed $151. Now I'm done now. This is bullshit. I honestly would, that would be my
it's too
tipping
hard
point.
to not link them together.
Right? So November 1st, 1996 is the verdict. This is first-degree murder, intent and everything like that. And the jury finds him guilty of murdering Elaine. Mm-hmm. So he's guilty. Now, sentencing here, this is a good one. They give him sentence. He says, you, sir, may fuck off. Life in prison for him in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
In North Carolina.
Yeah.
Life in prison in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Now he's got Marianne trial. This is death penalty eligible here, by the way, in 1999 for Marianne. He obviously is going to say that this is insufficient evidence. Right. I mean, good God.
There's a lot of it.
I mean, it's a lot.
It's insufficient this much.
There's so much from this trial that it was too much for my other trial. So it's a lot if you have it all here.
Right.
Jesus, that's a lot of balls. So he's too much evidence in one, insufficient evidence in this one to prove that he killed her. He said that there's insufficient evidence not only to prove that he wasn't the murderer or is the murderer, but they can't even prove it's not an accident.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. They don't know anything. Yeah. He says he points to the testimony of the pathologist who performed the autopsy of Marianne and a defense pathologist. He says that he argues that the findings are more consistent with accidental drowning than with manual strangulation. Obviously, clearly. That's what my guy says anyway.
My guy says that.
Because
I paid him to say that.
I got a guy here. He said it. I mean,
He said it out loud.
He went to college. I saw a thing on his wall.
Hand on a Bible.
It was framed. What do you want from me? He says that the pathologist for the state vacillated in his testimony regarding the cause. He said that, he didn't know shit. Meanwhile, he said it was not an accident, period. So that's not true. He also says that the pathologist testified consistently that the cause of death was manual strangulation. That's what the state says, and they're right. He did testify to that. I love when people try to just make shit up. The pathologist said that. No, he didn't. There's a court. There's a person sitting there typing every goddamn word you say. It's written down.
The shit out of this.
It's written down, man.
She'll read it if you'd like.
Yeah, dude's got that shit.
She's good at it.
Yeah, they're all good at it. I can't read it,
but they can figure it out.
They can figure all that shit out. I don't know what the hell it is. It's in like Sanskrit or something. I don't know.
It's weird. It's in hieroglyphics.
It's a hieroglyphical thing. I don't know what the hell it is. It's it's calligraphy, I believe.
Shorthand shit is bananas, man.
I don't know how they do it. It's weird the way they type it too.
Right,
they look
two-handed.
They look like they're kneading dough. It's not like typing like normal. Like they have this like bounce to their rhythm of weird.
Yeah, it's not a keyboard type.
It's a dough kneading motion they make with their hands. So his own pathologist here, Tim's own pathologist, testified that the cause of death was drowning, but there's no reason to testify to that. He just said it. His argument is that obviously he doesn't really have any evidence other than his pathologist going, she could have drowned.
Could have been.
That's all he's got. He claims the court is improperly admitting testimony from various witnesses that was cumulative and which essentially retried him for the North Carolina murder. Because it's like, now you're bringing all the people from down there up here. It's too much evidence.
It's too much case.
This is not fair.
I would like a smaller case, Your Honor.
Your Honor, could we just tone this down a little bit?
This is like a speedboat case. Could we tone it down to a pontoon? Could we?
A nice casual pontoon. If we could just make it me, say you're the judge, you probably have to be here, and like my attorney, and that's it.
Nobody else.
And we'll just tell the jury what happened.
We'll sort this out.
We'll sort it out. For example, he points to witnesses Richard and Nancy Babica and Marianne Roqueford and police officer Brenda Vance as providing cumulative testimony regarding the circumstances of his first wife's death. A review of their testimony, however, says that they just gave consistent versions of how Elaine died in the bathtub, which was the same as this. So that's all. He also objects to the testimony of Dr. Deborah Radish, who performed the autopsy on Elaine. And she reevaluated the autopsy results prior to the arrest in 1994 and all that sort of thing. They said that in 1990, she was unable to assign a cause of death, but in 94, upon reevaluation, Dr. Butts determined that the death was caused by asphyxiation with aspiration of gastric contents due to chest compression, and that the manner of death was homicide. Mm-hmm. So he's saying like, oh, it was an accident in 1990, right. But then as soon as the pathologist hears that they think I murdered somebody else, now based on evidence of outside shit, not medical examination, which he's trying to say the pathologist is being a detective now and using like information that's not just in the body to make a judgment, which I mean, you kind of got to take that too. You got to take environment, and that's what events. They do. Yeah, that's their job. Police. I don't know if people know this, but like if you read the David Simon homicide book, they have a big chapter on kind of the medical examiners and how that works, and the detectives argue with the medical examiners constantly over what's a murder and what isn't a murder. Like there's a couple of them where they were saying this guy died in the bathroom and his wife was trying to open the fucking door.
Yeah, so she hit him in the head a lot.
His head, he was caught between the toilet and a cabinet, and when she was trying to get it open, it broke his neck.
God damn it.
It broke his neck. He's already dead.
Right.
But it broke his neck. And the paramedics and the police, when they got there, they saw it and they were like, holy shit, that's clearly what happened.
Yeah.
But the medical examiner wasn't at the scene. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide, and they were like, no, you don't understand. You had to fucking be there to see it. There's no way she could have put him down there and broke his neck. It's not possible. They're like, it was the door.
She broke it, but it was already,
he was dead.
Everything else was broken anyway.
And they said there was like several cases like that where there was like a drowning or something like that, where they were like, no, you weren't there. You don't know. Or it's definitely a homicide. And the guy goes, I can't rule it a homicide. And they're like, you don't understand. You weren't there. I'll show you. Scene where a woman got run over by a car, and they wouldn't rule it a homicide.
Okay.
He's like, I mean, it could have been an accidental run over, and they go, but you have to see the parking lot where it is.
Yeah.
The car couldn't have turned around right there at that speed. They would have hit the wall, and there's no fucking thing.
So do it.
And they were like, sorry, can't do it. So he's like, God damn it, we can't arrest this guy unless it's a homicide. And it's one of those things where they argue a lot.
Intense.
Because they're not there. So anyway, you do take information and put it into your judgment. They'll take the medical examiner sometime to the scene to show them, and they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, all right, homicide then. Yeah. So it's not just a body that they're looking at. So, another officer, she testifies to her observation of the scratches and bruises and swelling on his arms and hands immediately after Elaine's death. And also, this is obviously relevant because he suffered similar injuries the night Marianne died as well. He also complained about the testimony of Christine Cheek regarding Elaine's last will and testament, saying it was improperly admitted because it was irrelevant because Cheek was not an expert as to the validity of wills in North Carolina. The objection to the evidence, though, was only that the testimony regarding the will was specific to a signature or some bullshit. So they said that she didn't possess sufficient knowledge and blah, blah, blah. So this is what he's arguing about. He's really grasping at straws here.
He doesn't want to go to jail.
No, that's what I mean. So because the Pennsylvania suggested that he may have a financial motive for killing Marianne, and because they drew parallels between the deaths of the two wives, they said the will was relevant as to a possible economic motive for the first killing, which would then be possibly for this one as well.
Samesies.
Now, here they find him as well guilty of murder. Now sentencing comes up.
Oh, boy.
This is a big deal. He's up for the death sentence.
Yep.
He does have three young children.
He does.
Who he's their only parent.
He's also a serial killer.
He's also a serial killer. I mean, you got to weigh a lot of factors if you're sentencing someone to this kind of shit. The kids all speak at the sentencing.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, yeah. Begging, 10-year-old girl begging for her dad's life. Please don't kill my dad. Yeah. That's literally what's going on right now. So that's pulling out all the fucking stops when you're pulling out the please don't kill my dad card.
Yeah.
Wow, that's That's heavy, man.
I don't know how.
Could you make your kids do that even?
I don't know if as a
If you're up
juror
for the death penalty.
I don't know that I could sit as a juror and listen to that and try to make an adult decision.
Yeah, you couldn't make an adult
What's best
decision.
for society? No, that's not.
I
would
bad.
ask, can I leave?
Yeah, can I hug that? Can
I hug the kid and you get an alternate in here? I gotta go.
She seems so sad. I feel really.
She's sad, and I'm even sadder because I can't make this decision. I'm sorry.
And I think that's what you're hoping for when you bring your children to testify for you at
I couldn't do it.
sentencing phase of a death penalty trial. I think you're trying to guilt the jury into whatever. So it goes to the jury, and they have to really, deliberate for a while and all that sort of shit. So here we go. Comes out. Here is the verdict. You, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty anyway. Kids be damned.
Sorry, children.
Yeah.
Daddy made a boo-boo.
Made a couple of boo-boos.
Yeah.
I think, and especially this being the second one. Mm-hmm. One trial, fine, but they're like, he's already guilty once.
Right.
He did this again. Very similar.
He's dangerous.
That's what I mean. He's just Ted Bundy, but he marries them first.
Right.
It takes longer.
Yeah.
He works slower. Works a lot slower, but the results are very similar.
Slow burn. Gets there.
Absolutely. So the reaction to this is mixed from different people, as you can imagine. The prosecutor, Edward Borowski, who sounds like the prosecutor of a Pittsburgh area court, he says, I think it was an appropriate sentence. He took the hearts and emotions of two families and destroyed them. He devastated two sets of parents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. There's a path of emotional devastation that reads like a phone book. Yeah. True. The jurors said that they had a problem with this, the whole thing. Like the jurors were very much affected by this.
Yeah.
Guilty wise, I guarantee you half that jury's probably still in therapy from sentencing someone to death after their kids begged for not. That would be really hard as a human to do.
Demoralizing.
You want to kill this asshole bad.
Yeah.
But you don't want to hurt these poor kids who have lost two mothers now.
Right. They've been shown.
And their dad.
Right. How temporary parents are.
Yeah, this is fucked, man. So there was jurors that actually were crying as the verdict as it was being read, the decision for death. There was jurors in tears about it because they just felt fucking horrible. It's bad stuff. The jurors declined to talk afterwards too. They were all a little
ever again
wrecked about it. The defense counsel said the kids are victims for a third time. They lost two mothers. Now they're losing their father. This is all true, but he shouldn't have killed the two mothers and, put himself in this position.
Blame him. He took all three of them from them.
That's what I mean. Right. He just he didn't want his first wife to leave him. That's what happened here. So, didn't want his first wife to leave him and didn't want this one to have another kid.
I don't know, man. Rejection sucks.
You can't just kill people.
Yeah.
It sucks to get rejected, but you can't. I get it too. They have three kids together and all that, but you can't kill her. That's insane.
Ooh.
That's fucking nuts. Think about your kids for 2 seconds. They
deep.
Probably like to have their mother, whether you like her or not. Worry about your kids. That's very selfish. So, also, Marianne, the first or the second wife, her mother Loretta says she has struggled for her desire for retribution. She's struggled with it. She said, quote, well, I go back and forth. One day I hate him and I want him to pay for what he did. And then there's the children. He said, Marianne loved and cared about them, and we know they are hurting too. Mm-hmm. A close friend of hers said, quote, he's a cold-blooded killer. He set all this up. Marianne was a wonderful person. She didn't deserve to die. No one deserves to die like this. Finally, justice is done, and we can get on with our lives. Okay. Indeed. So, the Elaine, he appeals this case here. He appeals this based on it's based on the admission of the other trial shit of all the Mariannes. Too much evidence is what he said, basically.
It's a mountain.
17 witnesses, contends the volume of evidence introduced through the testimony deprived him of a fair trial. Okay. The volume of evidence. That's wild.
Yeah.
Not it's illegal evidence, not it shouldn't be admitted or it's whatever. It's too much. If you're just going to tell them everything I ever did, obviously they're going to think I did it. OJ should have tried that.
Yeah.
Your Honor, that's too much evidence. No, it wasn't improperly handled. There's just too much of it. That's
Do we
all.
have limits on evidence? Is there like when you do a fundraiser and you've got a thermometer and at the top it just starts overflowing when you got too much? That's where we're at, I think. I think we're at the red top.
Look who has blood in their car. Come on. We don't need DNA. Let's just go with that. It's enough, right?
I think we fundraised the shit out of this.
I think we did it. So, they said evidence has been received tending to show that the second wife, Mary Ann, died under similar circumstances. This evidence was received solely for the purpose of showing that he had the intent, obviously, so it's fine. And also, he contends that they said that the instruction wasn't clear enough, the jury instruction, which I read the jury instruction. It was pretty fucking clear. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. It was, this can be used for this purpose only and not that purpose. So I thought it was very clear. He also says the trial court erred by permitting the state to introduce the alleged hearsay of other people, of his daughter. Oh. My mommy's this and that shit, as excited utterances. And he objected to the introduction of statements made within hours of the death made by his daughter, Sandy, who was 9 years old. I'm sorry, not 5 at the time, to a neighbor talking about my mommy's screaming and all that shit. So that's a pretty ridiculous thing to try to object to here. So they say, go fuck yourself. Your life in prison, asshole. But the big one is the death penalty appeal. Obviously, this is 1999, and this goes all the way to the state Supreme Court in Pennsylvania. And he says that one of the complaints is the time period. He says that the murder, the charges were filed November 14th, 1994, and the trial wasn't until April 5th, 1999. Which is 1,603 days later. Okay. Now, if he didn't kill someone in another state, that's kind of on you, asshole. We had to do a whole other trial. He says from that time period, he concedes that it's appropriate to exclude 966 days from October 5th, 95 to May 27th, 99, during which the pretrial appeal of the trial court's ruling on a motion was going on. So he's like, okay, that's fine. But he says, exclude all these days. He said he takes issue with the trial court's exclusion of 2 other blocks of time, 147 days, occasioned by a request for a postponement on the defendant's part. He's saying you took too long. And then they're breaking down the days, and they're like, you requested this days and these days, exclude that, exclude that, exclude that. It really hasn't been that fucking long, basically. So, they said the appellate, he's arguing that the trial court erred in excluding this period of something from its Rule 1100 calculation, that the Commonwealth's lack of due diligence in providing him with discovery, which occasioned his postponement request. Oh, boy. Holy shit. This is the level of legal trying grasping at straws really you can get to. This is like...
there's no statute of limitations on murder, man.
No, there really isn't.
We could wait until fucking the minute before you die.
Yep. Well, he's saying they didn't, give him a speedy trial, basically. Okay. They held him there forever. They just held him there. But they said it leaves... Wow, this is wild. 420. Oh my God. Subtracting this is a line from this. Subtracting this 147-day excludable period from the Rule 100 calculation leaves 427 days. Imagine having to argue about this shit in an open court. Turning to the second disputed time period, they go through all of these time periods of exactly what he did and why and how and all this type of shit. So, they said in addition to violating an existing court order, the trial prosecutor's unauthorized conduct ultimately created the basis for the Commonwealth to newly certify him as death eligible. Here's his main complaint. Okay. Pennsylvania, rather than trying him right away, they let him go down to North Carolina to be tried first. Okay. North Carolina had to put in a request for extradition because he was also being held for murder in Pennsylvania. Yep. They allowed the request. Now, what this did was give him basically show his intent and his pattern to do this and made him death penalty eligible in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So they're saying he's saying his argument is with all the Times is you only let me go down there to get tried first so then I could be death penalty eligible here. That's hard to say. Then I can be death penalty eligible here. So you set me up to get the death penalty here is what he's saying.
All right.
You sent me down there to get tried first. If you would have tried me up here first, I wouldn't have got the death penalty because the reason I got it is because of the first murder.
Okay.
That's what he's saying, okay?
All right.
So you fucked me.
All
This is his whole basic deal.
You fucked you, sir.
And the court says, you're right.
Oh, really?
You're right. We shouldn't have let the extradition go on to take him down there. We had you first. We arrested you first. We should have tried you first, or at least not used that as a predicate for this. So, sentence commuted to life.
Wow.
Life in prison there. So,
is it fucking after the other?
well, that's the thing. He's down in North Carolina serving life down there. So that's how he does his thing. Now, the kids' lives, quickly here. The kids' lives, they covered this case in a 2003 episode of Forensic Files, apparently, which I haven't seen, obviously, about the deaths of both of these women. And the kids were saying at that point they still loved their father, and they still believe both of their moms died accidentally.
Oh, my.
In 2003.
I hope in 17 years they've changed their mind.
Yeah, they were still young. I mean, the one girl was, 9 and 8. She's in her teens. I mean, they're like 20, 21.
Children.
They're children still. They said, he managed to, they said the kids stayed together. First, they lived with their aunt and then their grandparents. But their grandparents couldn't care for them permanently, so they landed in a foster home.
Oh, no.
Which was actually a good home for them, though. But it was overcrowded. Its location made it hard for them to continue school in the district they were already in. So in 1996, the kids were searching for a new foster home where they could all stay together. Yeah. And the AP put out an article about it in 96, and 100 families applied to adopt them, which is pretty fucking awesome. That's
great.
That's wild. County authorities narrowed it down to 20 because, if 100 applied, 50 of them are pedophiles. Right. 20 of them are like weirdos that want to write a book about them or some creepy shit, take them on talk shows and make them of them like circus freak.
20 of them like to cram houses full and accept all the checks.
Yeah, and then there's 20 who are like, oh, those poor kids, let me help them. Right. So that's who they were looking at.
And I hope that the kids got to pick. Wouldn't that? Oh God, I wanted that so bad as a kid.
To be able to leave and pick someone.
Pick of the house that I could go to.
That's the best. Wouldn't that be amazing?
You guys are great, but your house is a piece of shit.
That fantasy.
Yeah.
The fantasy of that.
Yeah.
The fantasy of like my real parents did this.
Having my own room.
Yeah.
The
beauty.
Dream.
So, they narrowed it down to 20. The kids are ages 12 to 15. They decided on a couple whose own children had grown up and moved out of the house. So this is like the best. Yeah. They've already raised kids. They're successful. So like, hey, maybe these kids won't be fuck ups. They move them in. They said, though, they hadn't forgotten about their original dad. And that another account said, quote, they write him and they're allowed one phone call a year. They've mailed him photos and sent him tins of cookies for Christmas. So that's what he gets. They participated in school sports in school. A couple of them went to college. They went on to, they're doing well. The oldest child, Randy, he grew up to work with at-risk young men at George Junior Republic. I don't know what that is. And later joined a Philadelphia area crowd management company as an intern and rose to branch manager.
Great.
Good for him. Sandy, the one who...
Sandy and Randy.
Sandy, who heard the horrible things. She graduated from North Carolina State and is an employment recruiter and all that sort of thing, doing shit like that. So good for her.
And Candy, what does she do?
And the youngest, Todd, he trained with the Civil Air Patrol when he was 16 and joined the U.S. Air Force and became an MP in the Air Force in 2006. He said, he was one of the people who came to the aid of a child at the scene of a shooting. Fantastic. As a matter of fact, too. So nice guy. After his military service, he's worked in online marketing for several years, and now he has his own company in Pittsburgh.
Incredible.
So, good for him, right? Yeah. Not bad. I'm happy to hear the kids didn't have meltdowns. They all...
Yeah.
That really says something about their support system, because that could have went really bad.
For sure.
Those kids.
Kids are resilient, but when it comes to childhood
That's
trauma
rough.
and shit like that,
That's rough,
forget
man.
it.
And
All
they're
bets
older,
are off.
too. Yeah,
it depends on who it is.
If that happens at that age, you can get real bitter real fast, but so many people were willing to help, and they're just very lucky that happened like that. That could have went really bad. Tim, on the other hand, he is in a medium security prison at the Nash Correctional Institute. His prison record showed that he has good behavior, no infractions or escape attempts.
Yeah,
that's good.
There's no wives in there.
It's like, well, I'll go escape for a wife to kill. And now, December 3rd, 2018. Okay. He is up for parole in North Carolina.
Yeah.
The commission is gathering information as they weigh the whole thing. If they do decide, he could be released as early as next month. December 13th, 2018, parole officials grant parole to Tim in North Carolina. He obviously was happy with that, but now he's just in time to be transported right up to Pennsylvania to serve his life sentence up there.
How about that?
So he can go fuck himself. Still in prison. Elaine, both Marianne and Elaine are both buried in the same place. They're at the St. Stanislaus and St. Anthony Cemetery in Allegheny County in Etna, Pennsylvania. So same area, too.
He's going up there.
I guess so.
Boy.
They wrote a book. There's a couple of books about this. One that looked like the most inflammatory, and one I wouldn't look at for this sort of shit, is called Please Don't Kill My Mommy.
Jesus God.
Please Don't Kill Mommy. It's not my mommy. Mommy.
Is this Mommy?
Please Don't Kill Mommy by Fanny Weinstein. I wouldn't fucking read
Good
that
Christ,
if you
Fanny.
paid me $1 million.
Down.
That is the most inflammatory shit I've ever. Please don't kill mommy. And look at the way it's written too, like mommy's a little bigger.
Oh, good
Look at that,
Lord.
with the pictures. The true story of a man who killed his wife, got away with it, then killed again.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the
and
front.
I'm rubbing to this.
Oh, she's flicking away.
Good Lord,
So,
Fanny, chill out.
Fanny, that's available if you really, really need to see that. And there is Tim nowadays, by the way. There he is. Looking like an old
Tim
looking bad.
Tim, you look like shit, sir.
Look like shit.
You look like a guy that makes teeth.
He looks like he totally makes teeth. 100%.
Holy shit.
Now, for some reason, there's an address to write to Tim.
What?
So I have it here in case you want to say you're an asshole or whatever you want to do here.
Send him a butthole print.
There he is. Yeah, you can ask him about his butthole making and things at Smart Communications / PADOC. Those are all capital letters, PADOC. Tim Boskowski, BOCZKOWSKI, letters EA 3797, letters S as in Sam, C as in fucking, never mind,
Carl.
it's going to be really dirty there. And then SCI Green, P.O. Box 33028, St. Petersburg, Florida, for some reason.
What?
33733. I don't know if they use that as like a mail clearinghouse.
Goes through it.
P.O. boxes are cheap in Florida. I don't know what it
makes
is.
sense.
A lot of people on the lam down there hiding from the world, and they do that. So yeah, if you want to write to that asshole for some reason, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we are just thrilled that those kids are not fucked up beyond.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have problems. I'm sure they went to therapy and
they're managing beyond
they're
disrepair,
managing and they're
goodness.
thriving in life and they're doing well. And we couldn't
awesome.
be more happy for them, because that is absolutely awful.
Against all odds, babe.
Against all odds. You figure one mother's enough.
Yeah.
Your dad kills one mom.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But then you get think about those poor kids. You get when your mom dies, you would think life is over, man. That'd be horrible. And then on top of that, your dad.
He found a carbon copy Mary.
Yes, that's what I mean. Another woman who's just like her, really sweet, adopts. This isn't like fuck your kids, I want my own kids. Is like literally adopts these kids as her own. And everyone said she treated those kids like they were her kids. Never any thought of step this or that. It was mom, and like. It's crazy. And why would you do that to your fucking kids? This guy's an asshole.
Truly.
Like, it's one thing to do that to your wife, but
Yeah.
Dude, to be able to sit there and go, I took their one mom away and that hurt them bad and they seem real happy now, but I'm going to fuck that up too.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a sociopathic, narcissist, lunatic do you have to be?
It's a serial killer. That's
To
what
fuck,
he is.
yeah. He could have done that how many times? And then he put on the front of I'm going to church and I'm making dentures and I'm such a nice guy, and drop of a hat, he'll kill you. Like, what the fuck, man? This is a serial killer who, like, was raised better than a serial killer, so his path was like toward legitimate things, but he still had to like do it.
There's still going to be things that happen.
Yeah, he's almost like BTK. Like, if he got away with this, who knows if he would have started doing other weird shit and branching out.
Yeah,
but it's strange because he kills for like necessity, or not necessity, but for like a
convenience.
Just
fixing life.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
It's
to be
his reset button.
Doesn't seem to be an impulse, but it seems to be a solution. Like his standard, like, well, I guess I'll kill her and move on.
That's his turn it off and turn it back on again.
Exactly. That
Weird.
Yeah, that's his power reset. Wait 15 seconds. It's a very strange thing that I don't know how to do it the same way, because he's like, well, that worked the first time.
Right.
He's a bright guy. Why wouldn't you think, like, I got to come up with another pretty elaborate accident?
I am kind of impressed though that he had a dismount of, like, because getting rid of a body is hard, man.
Yes.
That's
He didn't even try that.
I'm not even going to bother.
They
I'll get somebody else to do it.
He's doing CPR on her. Here, she's right here. It was an accident. Yeah, at least she didn't do like I don't know, she disappeared.
Right.
And then she's found in the woods, skeletonized a year later.
In a fucking oil tank.
Which we've had before.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is Ross Township, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Suburbs of Pittsburgh, and that's just a real asshole.
Truly.
We'll say just a huge asshole. Hope you enjoyed that show about that giant asshole. If you did, there is a way you can tell us, and as a matter of fact, tell the rest of the world too.
Yeah.
You can get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, give us 5 stars. We don't know why it helps, but it helps drive us up the charts, and that's really important. That chart position, if you look, it's not important obviously to normal people, but if you're in the business, that's how they look at things, as to where you are in the charts. So that's how you can help the show, and that costs you absolutely nothing. Totally free and takes 20 seconds. So please help out by doing that if you haven't yet. Also, if you want to help out the show a little bit more, well, first of all, you can get a hold of us. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You can get a hold of us there, do all of that. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. You should go all the time because we have new merch up all the time and it's fun stuff. So check all of that out. Get on shutupandgivememurder.com. Most of all, though, get your tickets for the virtual live show January 29th.
Yes.
And for 3 days afterwards.
Right.
You won't know it'll feel live.
Yeah.
It'll 3 days afterwards. There's 72 hours after that. You can buy it as well.
It equates to afternoon on Saturday in Australia.
That's what I heard. Yeah. That night. It's Friday night, and it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, somebody said. They're like, this is going to be great. So party it up and do that. Hang out with us. It's going to be a real show, real episode. Not we did the prisoner dating game, which was so fun, but this is like a real episode of the show. We're going to sit down. We have all the visuals. We're going to use a big screen behind us. We're not going to use the pop-up digital one like last time because that was cool, but this is going to be bigger so you can really see everything better. And I want them to be able to see you. Okay. Because you react. I'm a lot of the jokes are visual, and I'll put a joke up, and then Jimmy sees the joke, and then he reacts the same time as the crowd. But if I'm showing it to you on my laptop, it doesn't have the same impact as if you look behind on the screen. That way the audience looks with you.
And the screen's a little smaller.
And it's a big screen. So we're going to have so much fun doing that. We cannot wait. Real show. God damn it. Oh, it's almost
really
the road.
To it.
We're pretending. That is shutupandgivememurder.com right now for that, and also get your merchandise. Patreon is cooking hard this week on Patreon for this show, Small Town Murder. We are going to have a wild murder case from Michigan where you will be happy with the outcome. Actually, you're going to root for the murderer for once, and sounds strange, but it'll make a shitload of sense when you hear it, and it's so much fun. And it's not even like there's no child molesting or anything. People are going to go, oh, it's going to be a molester. I don't want to hear it. Nope, none of that. It's even better than that. No diddling occurs, but you'll still just be like, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Check that out. And on Crime and Sports, we are going to do the death of Steve McNair, who was a very respected, high tier all-pro quarterback in the NFL who was murdered. So by an acquaintance, we'll say. So check those out this week. You can get all of that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And anybody over the $5 level gets access to those shows and all the whole back catalog of Patreon, everything like that. It's a lot of fun. And also, you're going to get a shout out at the end of the show because you're a goddamn producer now. You're a special, extra special part of the show that we can't do the show without.
You're very special.
Listen, you're all very special, all of you. So, no, it's true, though. We can't do the show without you guys. So, thank you for doing that. You're going to be a producer. Jimmie will mispronounce your name at the end of the show. That is patreon.com/crime and sports to get all your bonus episodes and your terrible producer credit mispronounced. Thankfully. And on top of that, if you want to just be a producer, get your name mispronounced, which is fun. And, of course, just have great karma because you know that you're helping people out that work hard for you. You can do that as well by dropping something over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
That said, I got to tell you, Jimmie, the only thing that would make me feel better after something like that is I need to hear the names of the people who would never, ever, ever stage a death and say we accidentally drowned in a hot tub. Please, Jimmie, hit me with those people right now.
This week's executive producers are Carol Braun. Welcome back, Carol.
Thanks.
Jordan Bennett. Happy birthday, Jordan. Shauna Rogers. Yes, it's a big deal.
It is. We love Jordan.
And Simon.
Jordan's the shit.
Simon
And
messaged me to remind me, and I already knew, but he reminded me.
Awesome. Happy birthday, Jordan.
Also, Shauna Rogers, Rebecca Scaparis, Dominic Villanueva, Sybil Sierra, Clay Thorson. Again,
great guy.
You're
one
unbelievable.
One
Thank
of our
you so
favorites.
much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Matt Henkel, Michael Rosen, Robert Sarber, Emily Roberts, Cammie Renee Yoakum, Jacob Williams, and Krista Zachman. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You're really unbelievable.
You are the superstars.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And Dominic wanted us to mention that it's his father's 20th anniversary of being sober. That's fucking amazing.
Holy
Congratulations.
Shit. Congrats.
And I have his name. Hold on. I'm better than this. I've got a name. God damn it.
It's somewhere.
It's Carlos Villanueva. That's who it is.
Well,
Congratulations.
congrats.
Stay on the path. You're doing great.
Fuck.
Your son's very impressed and proud of you.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
really, honestly.
It's a big deal. Other producers this week are Brendan Abels, Andrew McCoy, Amanda Knight, Sinead O'Bray, Kat Jablowski, really? James Martyr, Susanna Platt. Is that Jablonski? That's what it is. It's not a W. Sorry. Susanna Platt, Tracy Renninger, Jesse Pitts, Simon Shed. It's Shed.
Simon, yeah.
I know that. It's Shed.
It's Jordan.
Peyton Meadows, Maria Kip Sousley, Jessica Johnson, Athena Bullock, Cindy Escamilla, Jessica Masery, Eric Wagoner, Morgan Schmidt, Walter Long, Savannah Storms, Lanny Blunk, Alexandra Weber, Aldo Felici.
Hey, it's a Felici.
Yes. Catherine Collado, Caitlin Smith, Rebecca Dakin, I think, Dionetta Piazzo, Janine.
It's a Dionetta Piazzo.
Janine Heidelbaugh, Thomas Coletta DeMello, Janice Hill, Amy Folsom, Crystalline, Reynolds Rivas, Ryan Dempsey, Amanda Plattner, Joanne Ahern, Rob Wilson, and his lady love Tarnia Goodsell.
Both.
I think that's who she is.
Thank you, lady love Tarnia.
It may be somebody else. Richard Johnson. You've got to be kidding me. Ashley Vio, Chelsea Branco, Maddie Cakes, Fine Confections, Jessica Bellaccio, Steve Schnell, Rachel Icabado, and her boyfriend Trey, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Trey!
Wow, a lot of birthdays.
I can say your name, Trey.
That's an easy one.
Liz Vasquez, Dave Bach, Clifford Martz, David Lynn, Greg Norris, Mo Isles Safi, Troy Graham, Frank the Cat, AJ McCoy, Jorge Torres, Alexandra Duke, Skip Bayless, probably not, Shauna Corbett.
It'd be great if he was giving us money to rip him and call him a douche.
Amber King, Dwight K. Schrute, probably not, Bo Bennett, Josh Davies, Chad McGregor, Kathleen King, Lindsay Peters, Curtis Hammond, that's Dave Brown. Jesus.
The old quarterback for the Giants.
Right. Piper Jones, Don DiBartolo.
Hey.
Why is it so hard? Charlie Insomnia, Hannah Hendrickson, Colton Patton, Beth Farrington, Amy and Kay Imserovic, Backlog Frog, Michelle Lopez, Sarah Becker, Josh Eagles, Ryan with no last name, Troy Matisich, Jody Ahrens,
Joey Arias, Jody
Ahrens, Richard with no last name, Ryan with no last name, Brad Bradford, Sabrina Doherty, Stephanie Perry, Elizabeth Salvador, Jason McFadden, Angie Dorsey, Michael Bream, Jessica Cook, or Kodke. I don't know if that's a D or an O. Tracy Skorupski, Michael Atkiss, Sierra Breeze, Jennifer Glorioso, John Robinson, Nathan P., Matthew Fainter, Lil Drumgold, Emma Fiedling, Delilah Brown, Lexi Allen, Jackie Goetz, Chaz Faisal, Kelsey with no last name, Juliana Gomez, Cassie Pritchard, Stephen Brittany Weber, Lisa with no last name, Barbara Cosme, I think, Nicolette Paul, Yasmin Sephora? What?
Sephora?
I don't know. Lonnie Callies.
The makeup.
Brian Paul, Ann Barnes, Crystal with no last name, Jeffrey Herman. Moving on. Jesus, this is brutal. I kill myself every week. For what? For what do I do this? You guys love this? Do you love this?
They want to hear their names.
Jasmine
They've done
Hudson.
something and they deserve recognition, damn it.
Do you love my punishment? Maggie
They
Cowan, Eliza with no last name, Janine DeLuca, Chelsea Roebuck, Brittany LaFond, Nydia S, no last name. Will Touch It.
That's pretty perfect.
I hope that's real. Tony Littles, Kathy Danke, Ben Davidson, Justin Sherwood, Ashlyn Russo, Brandon Watson, Eric Westfall, Tanya Nash, Christopher Hawks, Peggy Downing, Dave Brown again, Ernest Cantu
Dave Brown,
Jr.
my man.
Wonder if it's two dudes or just one. I don't.
Thank you to everybody named Dave Brown.
Conan Baldwin, Jennifer Weathers, Daniel Donnelly, John Howard, Barco Veruter, Jeff Davidson, Ariana Anderson, Lauren Vargas, Al Guerin, Nick Owens, Jessica with no last name, Camille Carr, it's Dot, Stephanie Flad, Ryan Pringle, Lisa with no last name, KV Mann, Justina Ditton, Ann Barnes, Zach Shoemaker, John Justice, Sarah Majerska, Eric Johnson, and Peter, that's Paul Peterson, Casey Smith, Kara Castle, Tom and Amanda McCracken, Paul Trottier, Britton Wright, Rachel Liebman, Carla L, Alex Brewis, Dean R, Joe Lynn Graziani.
There you
Graziani.
Hey, it's a Graziani.
Right. Shannon Sheets, Joseph Humphreys, Alana. Irivier, Orivar, Suzanne Martinez, Bryson with no last name, Morgan Willenbrink, Robert O'Brien, Deborah Izell, Walter Cannon, Raymond Torres, Deborah Iorio, Emily Oliver, Chandler Daniel, Kevin Campbell, Rachel Van Sumerian, Andrea Patterson, Aaron Stanley, Ryan Clarkin, Derek Miller, Evan Bunn, Gina with no last name, Danny Mullins, Kayla Sullivan, Lauren Smith, Joe Freeman, Isabel. Oh boy, what did I've ruined your last name for I don't know what. Isabel Dose. Douche. I don't know what I wrote. Look, you couldn't pronounce it either.
Oh, man.
Casey with no last name, Sarah McGee, Tara Saverwald, Abby Moriarty, Corey Kozitz, Tim Burleson, Alexis Cabello, Diana Evans, Ashley Kleem, Timothy Burleson. I said that. Oh, it's Tim and Timothy. Same name, two different email addresses. So I'm not sure if it's the same person.
Well, hopefully.
Lindsay Witt,
Maybe.
Nick,
Thank you.
Yeah, for real. Thank you both. Or one of you. Nick Muir, Amanda Serminski, Jess Suarez-Gorsky, Nicole Takacs, Nancy Stender, Amanda Amin, Trinity with no last name. I hope it's Dennis Rodman's daughter. Jamie Moon, Emily Martin, Jamie Houseman, Thomas with no last name, Helen Young, Jeffrey Stokes, Nick with no last name, Patricia Chapel, Brandy Grissom. Oh boy, Yevgeny Livich.
Yevgeny?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You've given me. Clint
You're a
Brown, Russo with no last
Heard that
name.
name before. Said it me.
Cynthia Parker, Josh Monzuski, Pasqualina Ilari, I think, probably not. Teresa Perron, Kieran Mann, Becky Mueller. People with bad names to pronounce love this. This is their favorite. Jamie Hawkins, Ron Atkins,
Bad names, he says. Like they chose them.
Natalie Morath, Kenny Fritz, Joseph Shaw, Tracy Bryant, Gary Long, Samantha with no last name, Trey Thomas, Sandy Atkins, Gavin Hutchison, Blake Cavalli, Bryce Smith, Megan Bidall, I think, Lisa Brodeur. Here we go. Andrew Sullivan, Luke Casey, Katie Weidman, Amber McVeigh, Chandler Martin, Ben Johnston, Carlos Villanueva. That's the one.
Hey, look at you.
Stephen Colosin, Veronica Salinas, Garrick Rock, Damon Motts, Brianna Sanders, Kimber Street, Kara S., Rachel Griffin, Kevin Roan, Nicole Burke, Josie Davis, Michael Walsh, Chandra Banton, which, by the way, I got questions for you for her.
Okay.
Lauren Stidham, Jenny, I think that's Lauren. I'm so sorry. I have bad penmanship. Jenny Bukowski, Pamela Oliver. I hope it's Pam.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
So. Thanks, Pam.
Trace Childs, Tiffany De La Torre, Olivia Lewis, Andrew with no last name, Jessica Perry Ash, Omar Gardia, Siobhan, H.M. Foreman, Georgiana, Roy Compton, Luke Blank, I think, Katie Hayward, Mullins, Nicholas Nolan, Jason A. Spencer, Darrell Nix, Jake Jacob, no way, Morton K., Heather Akers, Loretta Honick, we're so close, I swear to God, Crystal Robinson, Reagan Taylor, Tim Trejo, Lucinda, Powell, Yunny Cho, Charlie Watkins, Shannon Von Alt, Kathleen Soller, Jessica Aguayo, Raphael Dumlau, I think, Justin Tolentino, Bob Menzel, Lindsay with no last name, George Farmer, Ethan Emmons.
There you go.
Don Nuclear.
One of those.
That can't be right. Nuclear. Andrea Martinez, Anna Otto, Niall Flynn, Amber with no last name, Anita Martinez, Jeremy Foster, Michelle Martino, Oscar Park, Stacy Lane, Joyce Winstead, Thomas Sizzler. Nope. Brandon.
Thomas
nope.
From
That's
the Sizzler.
I'll be at this. Brad Logan, Matt Kuehl, Ashley Thompson, Amber Goad, Dylan Donis, Caitlin Lester, Cammie Parks. Welcome back, Cammie. Monica Nichols, Amy Stanton, Keith Humphrey, Sky Young, Joshua T, Brenda Ramey, Christian McPeak, Luke Tway, Joshua T. I said that. Janica with no last name. Ashley Mick Kaminsky. Christy Lee, Daryl Kelly, Mike Moore, Rachel Hannigan, Dylan Leahy, Patrick, nope, that's Ricky. What? Ricky Harmon, Matthew Ankle, Allison Walker, Chelsea Hansen, Gabby Reed, Cecilia Soderling, Alabama Sassafras, Noel Browning, Drew Shockley, thanks, Drew, Cody Dicken, can't be right, Paul White, Sybil with no last name, Janice LeBeau, Olivia with no last name, Miranda Beckard, Zachary Holsey, Matt Mills, Johnny Janowski, Brianna Patrice, Colin Bradley, Anthony Ream, Allison with no last name, Katie Range, TJ Severn, Chris Leonard, Carlton Merritt, nope, that's Charles Samuelson, Jace Kuhn, it might be JC, might be Jace, Carlton Merritt, Eric Balf, Jody Marie Miller, Dawn Naughton Reyes, Sophia Halkias, Faye with no last name, Jeff Olson, god damn it, Chase Lynn Miller.
Hey.
Oliver, that's Oliver, not Miller. Catherine,
all of that, and it's wrong.
Catherine Askoff, that can't be right. Askoff?
Askoff is fine.
Is it an Askoff?
You just anything with ass in it.
And a cough?
And a cough?
That's a fart.
Like a full, I think like K-O-F-F.
No.
Ass cough is a fart. Yes, that's different. I thought A-S-K-O-F-F was what I thought in my mind.
Damn it, Catherine. That's a tough name.
That's tough.
Amanda Sartain, Little Egg, Josh Ortiz Fisher, Phil Hall, Doug Mather, Rich Mills, Tiffany Brinkmoller, Kay Alves, Catherine Webster, Brazia Sailors, Clay Dedrick, Chelsea, nope, that's Kelsey Swanson, Faith Perry, Frankie McKenzie, Garrick Witchin, Monica Zirkle, Brittany Verdot, I think, Mike Toms, what is this? Ann Winton Meyer, George, nope, that's Richard, Gross.
George, those aren't close.
No, M. Kemshaw, Shannon Pitney, Robert Beams.
By page 6, Jimmy starts to really, the fucking wheels fall off the truck here.
Christian Yates, Juan Juarez, Shannon Pitney, I said that, Richard Bems, Robert Bems, Austin Osment, Carly Smile, Matt Roten, Christy Zaroost, Juan Chito Suarez, Teresa Littner. Last page. Rebecca Scoville, Jennifer Pritchard, Derek with no last name, a purple Roblox 4798, Chase Prater, Sarah Stokes, Keisha and Mike McDonald, AJ Rezak, Ash Smith, Tinas and Angus, Evan with no last name, Lisa Morrison, Kimberly with no last name, and Laura with no last name, and all of our patrons. You guys are terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Honestly, for everything you've done for us. All of last year, you guys kept us afloat, you kept us going, and you continue to do that. And we really hope you guys sign up for the virtual live show, because we're going to try to throw down really hard and give you guys something.
I'm excited about it.
Something exciting. Yeah, we're excited because even though you're not going to be there, it's going to feel like you're there, because it's the closest thing we can. We really do love doing the live shows so we can come out and interact with everybody and see you. Yeah, we want to see.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, we see Twitter and stuff, but as far as we know, you could all be robots. We have no idea until we get to a theater and there's 1,000 people and we go, holy shit, those people are real. It's amazing. So thank you for everything like that. What if they wanted to say hi to you or thank you? How could they do it?
Find me on the internet at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. And thank you guys truly so much. It's also Clay Thorson's wife's Melissa. It's her birthday.
Hey,
happy birthday, Melissa. Thank you guys so much.
Happy birthday.
And,
thanks for everything.
Thanks for being around. Truly,
Absolutely.
We can't do this stuff without you guys. Where can they find you?
Matt Jimmie P is funny, or just you know how to find people on the internet. Copy and paste my name and you'll make it work.
Yeah.
So that said, thank you again, everybody, for joining us this week, and we're going to keep coming back week after week. We have such a wild slate of shows for you. We're pressing hard. We're not going to take our foot off the gas. We promise that. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus